economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com. In most countries of the world, Porte means door. United Porte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
The GCU men's basketball squad is coming off their winningest season in 35 years, their third trip to the NCAA tournament in 4 years, and their first ever NCAA tournament victory. Returning 4 of their 5 starters in Ray Harrison, Colin Moore, Duke Brennan, and reigning WAC Player of the Year Tyon Grant Foster, the Lopes look to defend their WAC titles and make a run to the Sweet 16. With a non-conference slate including Stanford, Georgia, and crosstown rival Arizona State, you won't want to miss a moment of the action. So join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on the home of the Lopes, 1580 The Fanatic. Lopes up.
Everybody's got a podcast these days. Comedy, politics, true crime, you name it. But how many actually teach you anything useful? Harman Solar has an entertaining podcast that is vital if you've been thinking about looking into solar, but you don't know where to start. Ralph and Ben explore the intricacies of utilities, equipment, processes, and more. Their primary objective is to educate and empower you to make informed decisions on your solar journey. So increase your knowledge, not your bills. Go check it out right now. It's the Harman Solar Podcast at harmansolar.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Friday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien. Not alongside Randy White, but he might be coming around a little bit later today. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. It's November 1st. Don't forget to pay your rent. You don't want to be late. You don't need those late charges. Make sure you get that check in there. So now, today being the first, there's some things we have to look forward to in November. You know, you can look forward to the fact that you don't have to worry about daylight savings day on Sunday. The rest of the world gets to sleep in an hour later, so that's nice for them. I guess what we get out of it is just not having to worry about it. Well, you guys don't. I do a little bit, but don't worry about it. It's just to make sure all the shows on 1580 The Fanatic are correct on their satellite receivers. Like, for instance, Jim Rome, it was 9 to noon because the time change and everything moves around us. Jim Rome is now on from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday, starting on Monday. Nothing you need to worry about, but it's a huge pain in my ass.
Yeah, I bet, man. That's
well, I got to worry about Money Radio over there too, and that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of stuff. So I every year sit there and hope that the Sunshine Protection Act will become the law of the land, and we would never have to change our clocks again.
It's a bipartisan thing. Somebody should just do it.
The only thing is I want it to get stuck in Pacific time, not in Mountain time, where we observe Pacific time, not Mountain time. Because in Pacific time, that would mean the entire football season, Mondays and Thursdays, we only have an hour and a half show. So, but whatever my luck is, I can't help it.
Yeah.
So, starting next week, yes, lacrosse guy, he says, "Yay, don't mess with Rome. I need my 3 hours." Yeah, you're going to get all 3 hours. It's going to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Starting next Monday. Wilbur says, "I got your lock of the week." Since when can you be considered someone who can deliver a lock?
That's a good point.
I just don't remember you saying much of anything that's lock worthy. Unless you're just trying to do the reverse jinx thing that I do. I mean, if that's what you're trying to do, I don't even know. I mean, here's the thing. It's not a lock. You're out of your mind if you think it's a lock. Mr. Wilbur says, take the Cardinals, give away the 1 point, rip the knob off. It's a lock. If you rip the knob off, either the door will never close or it's never open. So that's really a dumb thing to do. People say, the old radio ads, rip the knob off.
I like variety though.
No, I'm not. I mean, I might put a preset in for you, but I'm not ripping the knob off.
It's just a level of commitment I'm not quite ready for.
Donnie thinks that, he thinks that his opinion matters. He is incorrect. But he says, please find a replacement show for Jim Rome. I'll do it for free. Donnie, nobody wants to hear you talk.
Damn.
I mean, if people had to choose between being deaf for the rest of their life and actually hearing your opinions out loud with your mouth, I'd rather not. I just don't want this. That's what you'd hear. Chief Skull says, can Mr. Wilbur even see the knob to rip it off?
Oh, boy.
No, but he can grab a hold of it. Lacrosse guy says, Donnie should be blocked. Yeah, you're probably right, but...
That's not the policy around here, I guess.
I just haven't done it yet. Anyways, I was in the middle of talking about November, right? So then election day is on Tuesday. I doubt we're going to know who wins on Tuesday night. But at least you'll be done with the campaigning and the commercials and stuff that people probably have had enough of. And then, of course, the NBA season's getting started, getting warm. If you care about soccer, the MLS playoffs, they're underway. NASCAR Cup Series Championship happens here in Phoenix next weekend. We got tickets for that. Boxing match between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson supposed to stream on Netflix on November 15th. I don't know if I'm going to watch it.
I won't.
I already have Netflix, so it's not like I'm spending money, so it's free for me.
Yeah, but Netflix has analytics and things like that. And if I click on it and watch it, what I'm essentially telling Netflix is this is the kind of clown show I want to watch. But it's not the kind of clown show I want to watch. So I will be avoiding.
Yeah, but you're going to be curious.
Yeah, I'll find out after.
Yeah, that's why I always say
I don't need to watch it live.
in dumb crap like this, I always watch it as God intended. YouTube clips that are illegally posted immediately after it's over.
In 480p.
Donnie, why don't you just take a break from being stupid? He just texted me, Jeffrey, tell us who you voted for. Your mom. I voted for your mom. Tell her I said hi. Ham Sandwich says daylight savings is a lot more rough in Arizona. Adjusting to TV shows and sports programs, changing time for half the year is harder than changing an actual clock. That's right. Now, when you get up on Sunday morning, the football shows, like the good ones, at 10 a.m. They were on at 9 a.m. Now it's on at 10 a.m. And then the game starts at 11. Oh, even we've decided to move the Weekend Warriors NFL show on our Sunday morning. They were on from 8 to 10 or 8 to 9:30 if there's a game. Well, now they're on from 9 to 11, 10:30 if there's a game. And exactly what is happening this weekend. So if you were enjoying Ralph and company doing that show on Sunday morning, it's on at 9 a.m. till the game. So that's, that's something. I was supposed to say something about it yesterday, and I forgot.
Yeah, but to be fair, Ralph was here and he could have said something about it as it is his show.
Let me just read
he also
you
forgot
the exchange that I had about this. Can you announce our time change to 9 a.m. Sunday? My response, I refuse. His response, I don't give a bleep if you refuse. Then I say, that is a really dumb question. Of course we can. And I said, you have a mic too, And that was the end of the exchange. So you're absolutely right. He could have done that in the entirety of the time he was on yesterday.
Like the fantasy football king, Scott Engel, joins us and plugs everything that he writes for and appears on.
And if you don't do it, he'll do it for you.
Yeah, weekly.
You notice that?
Yeah, he's really
I left
good at
out
it.
one thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah, don't forget this."
Yeah,
dude.
he just he understands the game, and I'm just saying, Ralph, catch up.
I don't understand the game. If I'm a guest somewhere else, I'm usually just like, "What do you do?" No, nothing.
Yeah. To me, like personally, I don't want to be that person either where I'm like plugging 16 different projects that I'm working on, but it's clearly important to him, and so he does it. And if it's important to you, Ralph, my point is you do it.
But then I went ahead and I just did it. So there you go, Ralph.
It's good to have friends.
Now starts at 9 a.m. That's all. Kringleberry says, ha 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 ha. Suck it, Ralph. Okay. He says, Bear. Oh, that was on the other show. Sorry. Let's see. Bruno Baller says, all Blender listeners outside of Arizona will have to tune in 1 hour earlier starting Monday. Not true. Not true. They will have to start in an hour later starting Monday.
Yeah.
Except for in Mountain Time, it's on right now. Wait, I see what you're saying. Arizona, same time. But everybody else has to, it'll be instead of, just shut up. I don't want to talk about this.
Already, there's more math than I was willing to assist with. I saw you working through it, and I was like, oh, I'm not even.
I'm trying to figure this out, actually.
I will be of no use to you.
Bruno Baller, are you sure about that? I don't know if that's right.
Because I always remember.
No, you're right.
It fall back.
Well, see, forget about what they do. Think about the timing. Before, if you were on the East Coast, our show started at 6. Now, our show starts at 5?
I want to say 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Starts at 5. Because now it's a 2-hour difference, not a 3-hour difference. So, yeah, I apologize, Bruno Baller. You are correct.
We got there eventually.
It's just confusing. When everyone else moves and we don't, it's confusing, and I hate it.
A little bit, but I would rather have this than what I had before, which is, have you ever desperately woken up just late for something, just late as bleep, because one thing did not automatically, like the clock you had that does not automatically change like all the other ones, just didn't, you weren't aware?
Or you don't know your phone is on a different time zone until it's too late.
Yeah.
Seabass says, don't feel bad for not announcing the new time for Ralph's show. If a tree falls in the forest and
God, that's so mean. You guys.
No, listen, brutal. People listen to that show. Maybe not for Ralph, but I hear Phil's pretty good on there. King of Kitten says, I got a new texture nickname, Accelerated Vision. What the hell's what are you talking about?
I don't understand what
Is that from a thing? Is that something I'm supposed to know? I don't know. Anyway, so there we go. Time change is coming, I guess. That's not something to look forward to, but movies. Gladiator 2, no thank you. Moana 2, no thank you. Wicked,
I mean,
no thank you.
I'll probably watch Gladiator 2. If you put Denzel in a thing, I'll watch it.
Okay, that's a good point. He is good, but I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I'm just telling you right now. You put Denzel in a thing, I watch it. It's just a rule I have.
Wilbur says JG said accelerated vision. Who's JG? What are you talking about? If you're going to tell me something, don't abbreviate, because clearly I already don't know. I don't know who the hell JG is. TV, Yellowstone will be back for part 2 of their 5th season. Then this new show they've been advertising, St. Dennis Medical. It's a comedy medical show. Cobra Kai, they're finishing that up. Dune Prophecy will be on HBO on the 17th. You got Veterans Day on the 11th. Thanksgiving on the 28th. I don't know. Outside of that, that's pretty good. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. World Kindness Day, but nobody cares. Nobody's going to follow it.
Not in this country.
JG Whitworth, 877 cash now. Is that the JG he was talking about? Well, I'm annoyed. He says, no, Jeffrey, do you live in this state? Our football coach, your football coach. Mine is SS. Ooh, Jesus. Shane Steichen.
Oh, no.
That's not great.
Oh, no. So maybe we're not going to shorten the initials for him. Does he have like a middle initial that could? Yeah, no.
Probably O. SOS gets the Colts, but
he's just going to be Shane.
Wilbur, but I'm not a Cardinals fan. Keon's not a Cardinals fan. I doubt even Randy will get that.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like for the most part, most coaches aren't referred to by just their initials. No one refers to Andy Reid as AR. He's Andy Reid.
Chief Skull says, I'm heading to California. If I put 1580 on the app, will I get the Palm Springs goofballs? I don't think so. Just make sure that you don't.
I don't. It's for you, really. I mean, if it's important enough, you'll
can't say for sure.
I don't know what to tell you.
So some stuff happened last night we can talk about. Let's start by talking about the Phoenix Suns beating the Clippers, as we thought they would, but it took some work to do it. They had to come from behind and win. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, they activated their glutes and pulled that thing out. Devin Booker with 40 points on the night. Kevin Durant only had 18, and he was sort of taunting bettors. I don't know if you guys talked about this on the gambling show there,
a little bit, yeah.
He says, he's like, hey, great dub, Suns. As for my parlayers, well, better luck next time. LOL. If you've just lost money because Kevin Durant didn't do the parlay, well, you're not happy. And then you just have to wonder, did he do that on purpose?
No.
Did he have money on this?
But he also,
the other direction?
But he also doesn't care. And that's the thing, is Kevin Durant has become at this stage in his public persona career a little bit of a troll. Mm-hmm. Like fans get on him about certain things. And he goes right back at him, and and people get after him for the parlays. So he's making that a particular thing he's going to make fun of and mock now.
I know, but there is a concern that he did that just to be that way towards the bettors. And
I doubt it, because they were down 21 in that game. Like you're not going for style points and trying to worry about bettors if you're trying to also win the basketball game. It's one thing if they were winning by 20 and then he said something like that, but they were down.
Mm-hmm. Royce did a pretty good. He had a pretty good game. 21 points. So off to play the Trailblazers next. What's that?
I really like the rookie Ryan Dunn, man.
Dun.
He's
had 16 points.
16 points.
Some threes, some nice threes.
Yeah, and some really good defense, which is what they drafted him for. The offense has just been kind of a nice little bonus.
Well, every game he plays, you should start to see him get better chemistry with the other players and play better himself. And same thing with Old Royce. So I'm going to call him Old Royce because I always think of Old Roy.
I see. Yeah.
So Old Royce.
Old Royce.
Wilbur says, ask the players. No, we're not talking about this right now, Wilbur. I'm not talking about the Cardinals, and I'm not talking about this.
Ask the player. Are we players?
He says 9 out of 10 players will say they refer to him as JG.
Okay, we're not on the team.
Wilbur's on the team. I keep forgetting.
Okay, yeah, just wow. Like, all right, we don't work in that building. I don't know Jonathan Gannon personally. I'm not calling him JG. We're just not that close, if you can believe it or not.
Average Joe says, I don't understand how this is still happening, he says. Well, I'm going to tell you what he's talking about later because we're not talking about that yet. So I'm going to put a pin in that, Average Joe. But all right. So now the Suns are doing fine. When do you start actually caring about the record? The standings? When do you halfway?
The standings I don't really worry about until maybe like All-Star break. And then I start looking like, okay, let's see where you are. Coming up to the All-Star break, you start looking because you're about past halfway at that point, coming down to the last third of the season, and you're trying to start looking at the position and where people are going to wind up. The record matters to me the whole time, but the standings, All-Star break.
Well, like where we're at right now, we're 4-1, and we came back later and beat the only team that beat us. So, yeah, okay, that's cool. I mean, I still want to see this team get more consistent. I still want to see this team improve and gel. That last Lakers game was kind of ugly. They got the W, but it was kind of ugly. I don't know about last night. I forgot to watch. I just got busy doing something else. I was a little bummed at myself.
It was a slow start, but I don't know. I just think the team is they're better than they were at this point last year, not just in terms of their record, but also just the way that they look. They look like a better basketball team at this point in the season than they did about 5 or 6 games in a year ago when we were deeply concerned that this roster was never going to come together.
So I think it's pretty funny that the victory parade in LA for the Los Angeles Dodgers saw their bus stuck in traffic for a long time. That is absolutely Los Angeles.
You deserve that.
Just sitting there and be like, I don't know. Should we walk? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be faster if we just took the trophy and walked down the road.
Also, it's I don't know. I'm torn on this next thing. I'm a little bit torn. Did you see the video? The guy who blew his hands off?
No.
With a firework?
No.
Yeah. So there is this video that's been going around. I think it's on TMZ. And they blur stuff out, but he literally blew one of his hands off with a firework that he was setting off in the street. It just went off in his hand, blew a couple fingers off the other hand too. And so he's just like, you see his pictures of him walk around bleeding all over the sidewalk. And he's just like, help me find my fingers.
Yeah, he's in shock. Yeah.
And they come along and they're like, put some tourniquets on him and he'll live. Now it's like, when you see him, you'll be like, well, let me get the elevator button, because you guess there's no just hand left, and maybe a finger or two. And those fingers might be busy, because
Do you just give in and go with the robot hands at that point?
You gotta. He's 25 years old, so he's got time to learn. But just also very Los Angeles fan. I still will never understand destroying my town while I celebrate my win.
Yeah,
we won. Let's destroy our house. Let's destroy our home.
The city
dummies
that I've seen that happen the most in outside of LA is like.
Well, Detroit did it. And then when the Buckeyes won their national title, just Columbus, Ohio was just on fire. Isn't it always though?
It's always like
anyway.
Detroit, LA, or just any city in Ohio.
Cheese Skull says that new guy's texter nickname, Nubs. Yes, absolutely. I would let him change it.
Oh my God.
And then be amazed at kind of like we're amazed at Wilbur. How the hell are you texting with you only have I guess you don't need more than one finger, I guess. Fish Tank says, man, I saw that firework video uncensored. His buddy was like, dude, you good, bro? No, I'm not good.
No.
My hand looks like an octopus now. Do you see this?
I no longer am in possession of fingers. Of course I'm not okay.
Let
What's
me-
wrong with you?
Let me see. I'm trying to give you the middle finger, but it's over there about 30 feet away.
And
Go look at it.
and I
That's
hope
what I'm
it's
doing.
pointing at you right now.
Jackass. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back and pick it back up where it was, not his fingers, this show. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic. This update brought to you by Sport Trade. Download the Sport Trade app and use code VSIN to earn 10% cash back on every bet in your first week. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
College football Saturday, Arizona State on the road to take on Oklahoma State in Stillwater. The Sun Devils 5-2 on the year, while Oklahoma State 0-5 in the Big 12. Arizona State, a 4-point road favorite, minus 185 on the money line. Oklahoma State plus 155 with the over-under of 56.5. The Arizona Wildcats, so they'll be on the road in Orlando to take on UCF. The Wildcats, a 6-point road underdog, plus 190. The Knights, minus 225, over-under at 55.5. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count. A real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
In most countries of the world, Porte means door. United Porte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona Sports Betting Station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Just how dumb are people? Guy blows his hands up with a firework there. What do you think you are, Jason Pierre-Paul? What's going on? Why are you doing this? And in the street, you know, they're setting fire to buses and dumb crap like that. I don't know.
By the way, the Los Angeles Dodgers, because LA is classy, they will now have a lifetime VIP access to LA strip clubs after they won the World Series. Evidently, a bunch of them are saying that they're made men, and they all get the VIP hookup now. The black VIP card. You'll get free admission, free VIP booth for as long as they live.
Well, that's, the strip club's just trying to get in some free advertising, and well, maybe it's working. I don't know.
It could be just like saying, hey, I got free chicken wings for life if they have good ones. I don't know. People always say how good the food is at some of these places. I'd be worried of getting herpes from the food that I'd eat in some of those places.
I don't really know. There's only one place that I've ever heard of where the food is notoriously good. Everywhere else,
I'm just saying where, because some skanky people might be handling the food, if you know what I mean.
It's
And
usually not the same people.
I don't know, maybe. You don't know. It's like, hey, girls, I need a little help in the kitchen here.
I don't think that they do that level of cross training at strip clubs.
I don't know. I've not gone to these places, but I just figure all hands on something. Anyway, so I guess they've got that going for them for the rest of their lives. Whatever.
For whatever that's worth. Yeah.
Bat Flipper says, I saw a guy driving with his nub up to his elbow sticking out the window. Maybe that's how it came off. Oh, you never know. Farming accident, fireworks. Maybe he just by habitually putting his arm out the window.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
and
how
then
he
he
got
just,
it the
he just
first
didn't
time.
learn the lesson. Yeah.
But
What else do I have to lose?
I can still feel it. Scratch Me Because says it's almost 24 hours later, and the Jets just sacked CJ Stroud a few more times. I had turned it off. Before halftime. So all this stuff I just read about later.
What a bad football game.
What happened? It was so bad. It was so bad.
I mean, the Jets. He wanted to say the Packers. The Jets woke up in the second half.
Yep.
The Texans did not join them in that process, and they continued to look bad and offensively inept, and it just wasn't a fun game to watch.
So, yes, I think the thing that everybody's thinking about is the same thing that Average Joe started the show thinking about, saying, I don't understand how this can happen. Maybe at the high school level, maybe once every 3 to 4 years at the college level, but never in the NFL should a player celebrate and drop the ball before it gets in the end zone. It was dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb as hell. Dumb.
And haven't there been enough guys that have done it to be
Learn
just
from
a
mistakes,
cautionary
right?
tale? Yeah, like Deshaun Jackson by himself has done it 3 times as a professional athlete.
Just absolutely asinine. That Malachi Corley goes to, hey, I got a touchdown. Yay, me. Well, guess what? Me just dropped the ball before the foot had come across and the ball had crossed the plane. And then you let go of the ball like just a fraction of a second too early. No touchdown. And because the ball rolled out of the end zone, well,
It's a turnover too.
Yeah. Dumbass.
It's the one thing that when you're there, you have to do. Make sure you are in possession of the football when you break the plane. It's the only important part of that. That's literally how scoring works.
Is Malachi Corley scored at all this year or ever? I've never heard his name before. So that might have been his only chance. And the coach is all like, you owe us one. Well, yeah, you probably won't get paid.
Because I mean, I would fine.
Trust is gone for sure.
I would fine you if you were on my team and did that. That's a fine, a hefty fine. Coaches are having dinner on you.
Oof. Yeah, but here's the thing. At least they won the game, so that didn't end up mattering in the end. But at the time, it seemed like, oh my God, that might be the only score the Jets are going to get, because it was god-awful football in the first half. It was so bad. Unbelievably just bad.
Oh.
Bad. So bad.
Yeah, Malachi Corley, the rookie.
Mm-hmm.
has not ever scored.
Yep. And he still has it.
He caught one pass for 18 yards in that game, and that is the only. Or sorry, he rushed for 18 yards, and that is the only thing he has done.
Yep.
as a professional athlete,
he has lost the trust. I would very much be surprised. So yeah, the problem for the Texans was in the red zone. They're only 1 for 4 in the red zone. CJ Stroud looked completely rattled from the moment he walked out there because like we were thinking about last year. Like it was in their heads already. And then they're like, oh my God, if we lose to this team who's lost all these games in a row, how bad? It's like psychologically, the Texans showed up wrecked, just wrecked. You could see it in CJ Stroud's eyes. And he got sacked over and over and over again. So the line didn't do him any good.
The line didn't do him any good. And it's not a great Texans line, but it's better than a lot of the ones that we've seen in this league. And certainly it's been good enough for CJ in the past. But this Texans team just feels like it's not the same team as a year ago. I know the record says one thing, but when you look at the games that they've played, there are teams that they should have beaten badly that they just barely escaped, including the Jaguars. There are just games where, other teams have been able to put up a fight. The Vikings game is probably one that stands out the most, where the Vikings have lost a couple of games in a row, but the Vikings have a defense that can be scored on. If you lose to the Vikings, you lose in a shootout. Well, the Vikings held up their end of that bargain. Texans scored 7 points. So, if you're not going to be able to move the ball on a defense that's been giving up yards like that, I do have serious concerns about this football team.
The Texans are a mirage. And also, Kyle Fairbairn, he fell into a funk right along with the team. He missed 2 field goals. One was just right there in the red zone.
Yep. Yeah.
I get a 56-yarder. All right. Okay. All right. That happens. But
the chip
43-yarder.
Yeah,
no.
You can't afford to miss those.
So anyway, that was that. And so I haven't looked yet to see how many people. Did you pick the Texans, right?
Yeah, I picked the Texans.
I think we all did.
Yeah. But I didn't feel great about it, but I just still thought they were better than the Jets. And
well, I know I said on air, if Aaron Rodgers flips the switch and suddenly starts playing like Aaron Rodgers, this is a risky pick. But I didn't see it happening. And I was right through to halftime. I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch something else.
Yeah. And then Aaron Rodgers threw 3 touchdown passes, including one insane.
That was more. He was not
Garrett Wilson.
He was not horribly accurate or placing the ball in very catchable places. So catching that ball one-handed by Wilson, that was just him making the adjustment in the situation. And
all the credit on that goes to Wilson. That was an underthrown ball by a lot.
Absolutely. And it was fun. Before I tuned away, you start hearing the chant in the background, "Sell the team. Sell the team." New Yorkers, they were booing like right off the first possession. They were booing, and you're in New York. What do you expect? They're gonna boo.
Yeah, that's what they're about. And
they were right to do so at the time.
This win is not going to appease this team. You're gonna have to give them more than that.
Yeah, it was the Texans. And Aaron Rodgers is trying to say, I think we can run the table.
No, stop.
No, you can't.
I've seen your schedule. There's some games you can win there. You're not running the table. No.
Should bring up their schedule. Let's talk about how they run that table while I read some texts. Sir Drives a Lot says, I was counting the paper bag heads. Yeah, in the stands, they had them. They like same old Jets is what it said on this one guy's bag. Yeah, and I imagine they'll still show up wearing those bags, expecting the worst in the next game too.
Yeah. By the way, coming up for the Jets, they'll actually Sunday, November the 10th, they're here facing the Cardinals.
Well, that's winnable.
And then they've got the Colts the following week.
Winnable, very winnable.
Then they've got the bye week. They return December 1st and play the Seahawks.
That's winnable.
It's a winnable game. I just don't know the
so far. Yeah, their schedule looks pretty soft.
Then they've got the Dolphins December 8th, which I'm not sure how to feel about
what version shows up, right?
Yeah, like the version that played the Cardinals wasn't a bad version, but they need to be much better than that. Then they've got the Jaguars in Jacksonville. Then they've got the Rams. Then they've got the Bills and the Dolphins again. And my guess would be that you probably split with the Dolphins and at least lose to the Bills. I don't think you're running the table here.
So I took a look. Big George is claiming that everybody's 0-1 in the fan pick'em after yesterday. And I looked at it, it's like, actually, no, there's 54 people who picked the Jets because they saw, at least in their own head, hey, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to come back around. And maybe they saw what Keon saw, which was, hey, these Texans ain't that good. So there they are. I'm kind of scrolling down here. Bat Flipper got it right. Walter Mellon got it right.
We had a bunch of people not a week ago pick the Browns to beat the Ravens.
Why is there always somebody named Tig Old Biddies?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
That person chuckles every time they read their name, and I'm assuming that's the reason why.
I like Brett Maverick. That's cool. Somebody called themselves Brett Maverick. Fecal Mist is always funny to me. I don't think Fecal Mist. I don't think they've texted in for like forever.
It's been a little bit.
Box of Screws is in there.
I think a couple of weeks ago,
9
actually,
or 1680,
when we had Scott on, because Scott said that the name made him sound made him feel uncomfortable.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But yeah, Harley's Hammer, Puckered Starfish. Puckered Starfish is leading the pack right now, and I know that Fish Tank did not pick the Jets, so now he's behind him. So that has dropped Fish Tank. Fish Tank, you better do your best, my friend. Big George says, hey, how dare you, Jeffrey, call the Cardinals soft? If Randy were here, he'd slap you silly. First off, no, he wouldn't. Second off, don't you how dare me. How dare you, how dare me. Peasant. Anyway, Kiss the Cook says, hey, to that fireworks guy who blew his hand off, hope bidets work for you. Yeah, but how do you activate that without, I guess you just need a finger, right? I don't know. I don't know how bidets work. I've never used one. I've had opportunity to use them, and I was just like, no.
Yeah, I've never actually used one.
You know, they got them in England, and I was just like, yeah, I don't. If I had one in my house, I would want a lid on it, so you don't have to look at it all the time. You know, lift it up if you're going to use it, but I don't know. Don't need it. Fish Tank says, all right, I need to grab an 18 pack and rearrange some picks, dude. No. Go with your first instincts. You know what I'm saying? Don't overthink this. You've had an amazing season so far of picking these games.
I like that his first thought was, I'm going to overthink this, but I've got to get drunk first so that I can overthink it in the same state of mind in which I originally picked it.
No, that's a good point. You're right. He's got to get himself in that thought process.
18 pack.
I have got a cabinet that is so full of whiskey, and my wife is like, you should give some of that away. I'm like, what? No. Some people have bottles of wine in a cellar. I've got bottles of whiskey. A lot of that was given to me by listeners. I'm not just giving that away. I've been meaning to start drinking heavily. You know, this Irishman ain't going to become an alcoholic for free. So I'm just keeping it. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just don't want to get rid of my whiskey.
I think that's fair.
It's like art to me. And you look at some of these houses online, right? We're looking at houses and it's like, hey, they got a wine cellar. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to put in a wine cellar? Whiskey cellar.
Whiskey cellar. Whiskey cellar. Why? How come
the words make me so happy?
How come that's not a bigger thing?
I don't know. Whiskey cellar. You know why? Because you put the bottle in there, you can't see it. You put the whiskey on a shelf, now you get to see all the cool labels. And some of the shapes don't fit into wine cellar holders.
That's true. But man, that's
I'll
such
get
a
rid
cool
of
idea.
I'll get rid of the round things and I'll just put in more shelves and just have the whiskey cellar where you open the door, walk in, and there's all your whiskey.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
Damn right. Golden Domer says truer words were never said. Always go with original thoughts. Don't ever change picks. Well, that's not true, Golden Domer. Like if you find out about an injury that absolutely will change your pick. That is like when we all shifted over to the Dolphins, plus minus Tua, or you're shifting off of the Ravens, plus minus Lamar Jackson. So outside of injury, yes, always go with your original thoughts. All right, we got to take a break. We come back, more of your texts and more sports stuff to talk about. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey, sports fans, this is Dylan Cohen.
And I'm Keon Rose, and we're bringing you Beat the Book every weekday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
So if you want the latest betting picks, advice, and analysis that's sharp as a knife,
Or at least sharper than Dylan's last pick on the Cardinals.
oh, you've got jokes, huh? Well, maybe you're feeling bold now that your Commanders actually look decent this season.
Hey, even a broken clock's right twice a day, right?
Well, tune in to Beat the Book with us, Dylan Cohen and Keon Rose, every weekday from 2 to 3 on 1580 The Fanatic.
Brought to you by Sport Trade, the newest sports book in Arizona.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated in the best hearing aids of 2024 by USA Today, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices. Just $189.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 500,000 happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So the Jets game was most of a turd last night. The Jets, did they flip the switch on for real, or is it just because they were playing the Texans? Still feels like they're just playing the Texans.
It feels like they were just playing the Texans, but also this is just kind of what the Jets have done. Like they start slow in just about every game I've seen them in. They did it again. Nothing's changed. It's just that the Texans weren't up to the challenge of answering those points at all. And of course, all their own mistakes that they made and things like that. But yeah, no, I don't think that this is just the Jets are back. They figured it out. If the Jets have really figured it out, what would make me believe that would be, let's start the game in a dominant way. And they haven't done that yet.
That's crazy talk.
No.
Hefty Lefty says, if you get property big enough, you could have an entire barrel house. Well, if the listeners give me barrels, yeah. That didn't work out very well, Keon.
No.
Both of us taking a drink at the same time.
Bad timing.
I'm trying not to cough. I don't know what you're doing.
You're trying to caffeinate myself.
Yeah, God, I'm so tired.
For a long time today.
I am so tired.
We'll be leaving till midnight. It's great.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of days. In fact, I just realized I'm in an abusive relationship.
Oh, with what?
Dermatologist.
How or why?
Think about this. Over like the last, I don't know, like 8 years, I go to the dermatologist every year. I pay a bunch of money, and then I have to get naked, and then she always cuts something off me. So I end up going bleeding. And so yesterday, see this? That was her right there. Look at that.
Oh wow!
She burnt off a part of my face right there. And she did it last year. And then there was time my wife was like, get rid of that thing. Like, what? She said, that thing at the back of your neck. Well, originally she said, get rid of that thing between your shoulders. I'm like, my head? She's like, no, the mole on the back of your neck. She said, does that not bother you when you're like brushing your hair or whatever? I'm like, no, I'm used to it. Just I have this little flappy mole that was in the back of my neck. She's just like, no, I didn't want to look at that anymore.
So it had to go.
Snip. Just took that thing right off. And so like every time I go, I spend a bunch of money and I come home hurt.
Yeah,
if that doesn't sound like an abusive relationship, I don't know what does.
Yeah, especially since the money's going directly to the person hurting you.
Do you see this though? You know why it's round like a donut?
No.
Well, because last time I went, I have like, just one of them little sunspots or whatever. And so she gets it, but then she kind of missed the area around the outside of it. So there's a donut on the side of my head.
Wow.
After this, though, I don't know.
It just seems like she's planning on inflicting more suffering on you. That's what it.
She's like the dentist from, what was that? Little Shop of Horrors. You ever seen that?
I don't think I have. No.
In the movie, the dentist is played by Steve Martin, and it's pretty good. Worth looking up.
All
Two
right.
things, 2 videos you should look up. One, maybe watch Little Shop of Horrors. It's a classic. 2, what was it? Sushi Glory Hole.
I'm sorry, what?
It was on Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
One of those Lonely Island jobs right there,
Okay, gotcha.
There's a couple guys pitching in a meeting sushi glory holes. Or instead of something else, all of a sudden sushi comes in. Tiger Paws says, hey, that Brett Maverick is my brother. Is that his real name? That'd be awesome if it was, but it's okay if it's not. Heffy Leffy says, dry scoop some pre-workout, Keon. Dry scoop some what pre-workout? So he says, I'll get you through the end of the show. Don't worry about the itchy skin, though. It just means it's working.
I need the caffeine to last longer than the show. I will be here all night.
Oh, that's right. You got a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Magic Johnson says, Chief Skull, put on the X that now he has 15 championship rings. Dude, you're an owner. No one cares about that ring, except for maybe Ralph. And all of Ralph's rings are pewter anyway. Hey, look, Randy White looks like he's starting to get set up to come on the show. Is he on there?
Not quite yet.
All right. Well, let me know. Tiger Foz says, no, just all 4 of my brothers would dress up like each one of the Maverick group. They also did all the Earp brothers. I don't remember there being more than one Maverick. I thought Brett Maverick was it. You know what? I never watched the show. I only saw the movies. So, that is interesting.
So we should have Randy.
368-1580. Hey, Randy.
Da, 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 da.
I can't see you, though. It just, it's a radio show, so it's fine. I'm just letting you know.
Hi.
There he is. Hi, Randy.
Howdy.
Hefty Lefty says, isn't Rick Moranis in Little Shop of Horrors to you? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah. So what's new, Randy?
On my in my absence, apparently I'm now Prime Minister to the planet of Jupiter. According to the United States, I'm a Prime Minister to the planet of Jupiter.
So you got the letter in the mail?
Oh yeah. Well, it's an email. Got an email. Yeah, from Space Force, and I am now the Prime Minister of Jupiter.
Jupiter is a very, very big gaseous planet.
Yeah.
So that actually it fits.
I mean, out of the 3 of us, who more gaseous than myself?
No, it's absolutely appropriate. I'm a little jealous, but congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you watch any of that game last night?
I did not. I
You're better
retired.
off.
retired early to the Prime Minister chambers early.
So it turns out there's a guy who bet a 4-leg parlay, and it's $1 million payout. It's a 5-team championship parlay, and he's got 4 legs of it now. But he needs 1 more leg to hit. And guess who he has winning the Super Bowl? The Jets.
Oh, boy.
You're going to have to cash that out, man.
Oh, boy. Cash it out now.
Yeah, I wonder how much the cash out is. It can't be much since it's the Jets.
Well, it might be just because of just the number of legs on the parlay that hit.
There's no way the Jets are going to the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Well, there is still a chance.
There's still mathematically a chance, yes, but
and tickets on sale now.
But it's not likely. It's not likely.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. This guy is working a pretty good parlay, and I think he was probably thinking Jets. But why would you even think Jets last year after the entire season? Old Aaron Rodgers was out with his popped Achilles. Why would you think that they would show up ready to win a Super Bowl when he came back? Because he's still very injury prone now.
Well, he is injury prone, but I mean, last night proved that they can beat a good team. The Texans are no slouch.
What not? A good team showed up? I mean, did the Texans get off the field and a good team showed up? The Houston Texans are a good team. I mean, not really.
I would put the Texans in the playoffs before I put the Jets, but we saw what happened last night, and there was some good plays. There was some great defense from the Jets, and there was it looked like the Aaron of old behind the center.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It did not look like that in the first half, but the second half, I honestly didn't watch it. So maybe
32 passing yards in the first half for Aaron Rodgers.
It was bad. Yeah. It was so bad.
Didn't he finish though with like 241 or something? 242?
211.
211. Sorry.
Well, I mean, again, I guess I have to just keep an eye on what's going on. I feel bad for this guy. I say there's little chance his parlay is going to hit. There's little chance that the Jets do much of anything in the playoffs if they even get there. So, boy, that is a bummer though to be that close. But absolutely right. You take the payoff if there is one, but I can't imagine it's a good one. Can't imagine it's a good payoff.
And unless you want to try and ride it and see if they can win enough games near the end of the season that number goes up for you,
payoff,
and then cash out before postseason happens or before there's a dip in play.
We're in week 9. I mean, we've got 7 weeks to go. So, I mean, why not sit on it for a while and see what happens?
Well, the guy will do what he does, but pretty good 5-game parlay, 4 hit. Now the Jets,
Super Bowl. Ooh.
Hey, remember last season when the Diamondbacks owner Ken Kendrick was like, boy, man, looking back in hindsight, what a horrible decision to invest money in a guy who performed as poorly as Jordan Montgomery did. He's like, oh my God, it was the biggest mistake in the season from a talent standpoint, and I'm the perpetrator of that. Although he does always follow up, but they said it was. Everybody else agreed with me. But so Jordan Montgomery, he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm opting into the contract. I'm going to make them have to deal with this, and I'm going to get my money.
That's the best revenge right there. You're going to have to sign this check for me while you think that I'm a bad idea.
22.5 bad million ideas, right? So,
and I am not nearly motivated to play for you the way that I was a season ago when I thought you actually believed in me.
So what does a good team do in this situation, Randy?
A good team would not come out and say what Kendrick said.
Okay, there's number one. But now that everything's happened, and you got Jordan Montgomery, who's kind of a floating turd of a pitcher right now, what would you do? Would you just see what you got with him and just try again, or do you try to deal with him? Just try to get rid of him?
Once he opted in, because after the owner said that in the press and everybody read about it and the kind of season that Jordan Montgomery had, he would obviously, like he did, opt in because now it's a guaranteed paycheck. what I would do as an owner is I would go ahead and use him as trade bait and put him in a package deal and get rid of that. And I would probably send, 10 million along with him just so I could clear him out and make room for somebody else to come into the team who wants to be here.
So money in a deal is the best way to get.
He
would
does
think
want
so.
to be here. He's not the one that said he's a mistake. The owner.
Well,
of the
no,
team
but
said
Keon, the truth of the matter though is he wasn't that good.
he wasn't
Instantly.
good. He wasn't good, but that's not the same as he doesn't want to
guys,
be here. He just had a bad
I
year.
don't care if he wants to be here. We want to win some games. He's got to go.
Instantly, all three of us thought the same thing. Well, since you're going to say that about me, I'm going to opt in and I'm going to go ahead and play for this team, and you're going to have to pay me. And you're exactly right, Jeffrey. He's now an unmotivated player. So as an owner and as a GM, I'm going to try to move him out of the stable and bring somebody that can help us.
Hefty Lefty says Soto to the Diamondbacks.
Okay. Things that are not happening for 400,
Yeah.
Alex.
No, the Dodgers are going to pay whatever it takes to get Soto on their team.
Baker's
Gross.
Cocky Hen says they won't offer cash out unless the Jets get to a record that is plausible of making the playoffs. Yeah, you're probably right on that. All right, hour one done. Hour two next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake and I approve this message.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, "F your prayers." He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake and I approve this message.
My name is Mary Grace. There are a few misconceptions about Alzheimer's. It's not just memory loss. It's the loss of mobility, the risk of falling.
For more information, contact the Alzheimer's Association at alz.org. Sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. As we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale, Sir Drives a Lot says, Randy, you're the only prime minister of Uranus.
No, I think you misheard me. Jupiter. That was Jupiter.
I like Uranus. Mr. Wilbur says, thank God Randy's there. Randy, who's JG?
Wentworth.
Ha! Wilbur is acting like we should all know JG when he says it in a sentence is Jonathan Gannon.
Well, I never got a sentence. So, I mean, when you ask me who JG is.
You want the sentence? He said JG said accelerated vision. We weren't even talking about the Cardinals.
No, that would be Jonathan Gannon.
Well, yeah, you know that now because I told you, but I bet you wouldn't have.
No, I heard the sentence and I came up. Listen, I don't have to take this. I'm prime minister.
You're not prime minister of Earth, so you can just suck it like anyone else.
Well, I'm prime minister to the planet of Jupiter.
You can't. You're not prime minister to. You're prime minister of. Are you trying to say you're ambassador to Jupiter?
No, I'm prime minister.
Yeah. So if you're in charge of Jupiter, then you're prime minister of.
Of, yes. That's what I said.
What's it like there?
Cold. Very cold and sort of odiferous. Very odiferous and cold.
Well, it's a gassy planet. I thought it'd be hot. I thought there'd be a lot of heat there.
No, cold. Very cold.
Well, you're hanging around on the ice moon of like Europa?
Well, I mean, I can't really say. That's sort of protected information.
Protected by the fact you haven't figured it out yet?
Can't say.
Yeah, okay.
I just can't. I can't talk about it.
All right. Here's something. We were talking the other day about Shaquille O'Neal, who is kind of unclear on the concept. He thinks that he talks to some ladies on the phone, it ain't cheating. As long as he's not physically touching them, he says it's not cheating. Well, it's absolutely cheating. And so we talked about that. Then somebody else told me about this. I guess a lot of people are going Dutch on dates now. I guess that's a whole new thing because equality, and so the men are like afraid to just offer to pay for the whole thing. So it's like, well, I don't know what you want to do. And so if you like say, oh, I'm going to pay for the whole thing, they get upset. Like, oh, you don't own me. So there's this woman in New York, though, who's saying she refuses to split the bill. Damn equality. She says, listen, there's no equality in this because I've already spent way more money prepping for this date. I got to pay a lot of money to prep for the date, so you should pay for it. And that just completely knocked equality on its ass. But she lists things like, I got to get my nails done. I got to buy a new outfit. And you're just showing up to whatever you wore at work. And she says, oh, then there's time. My time is money. There's a lot of time that I got to spend getting ready. Time is money. And so that's why you men should be paying for the bill and not me. So just we're throwing actual equality out the window. That's really on you. Because my wife is beautiful. She doesn't even need makeup if she don't want it. So she could show up in shorts and a t-shirt and basically turn every head in the joint. So that, that doesn't count. I mean, listen, however much time you got to spend on you, that's really your problem. I don't think I need to. I mean, I'm going to pay for dinner because I'm a gentleman, but if you say I have to, well, now we're going to talk about it. Just because you feel like you need a dress and some nails and some hair done and some makeup and whatever, just because it's easier for me, I just throw a comb through my hair and you walk out the door. That's your self-esteem. That's not my problem. Am I wrong here?
I don't know. The beauty standards of men and women are just different.
Who cares? Why should I have
But-
to pay more because it costs that person more to exist?
Well, that's the thing is like when we're talking about equality can't just apply to the check then. as long as you're okay with people just showing up however, which maybe you are. I don't know.
You're supposed to be.
But people aren't, though. Like
Have
the reality
have
is.
you ever put a dress code on somebody for a date? Make sure you dress nice. Don't show up all. No,
but it's not something that people just like. It's not something that people are just actively sitting down and planning. It's just you will either consciously or unconsciously have thoughts about what a person looks like when they show up in front of you. You expect people to look a certain way. It's not a thing that you're like, you've got a checklist, and if all the boxes aren't checked, then whatever. It just that the way that women are perceived when they do not prepare to a certain level, they are not seen as attractive. That's most women.
Well, that's their problem.
Okay, well,
just like it's our problem if we show up
that's all I'm
wearing
saying.
shorts and flip flops, or do we show up wearing a nice something nice? That's our problem. So I mean, it has nothing.
But it's always going to be easier for you.
You
is
know,
what she's saying.
Money and
It will
time
literally always be easier.
is her problem because she's trying to portray something. I didn't ask her to. I met her, asked her out on a date, and that's what we're going on. So that's, I mean,
Yeah, but people are making
argument.
decisions based on what they think society expects from them.
I
And
don't-
that's not like, look, you don't have
You must
to,
be this tall to ride the ride. So that's your problem.
Okay, I'm just saying that there are a group of men for whom if a woman showed up with less than that, they're going to feel some kind of way about it. That's all I'm saying. So if the equality is going to go
And?
both ways, then it's going to go both ways on that. And someone is going to be unhappy about it. And she's demanding that it's you. That's all. I don't know.
I think anybody who dates her is going to be unhappy. So that I think a mission accomplished on that. Because listen, I'm a gentleman. If you just keep your mouth shut, I'm going to pay for the food. You know, but then you show up and you're like, I had to spend an hour getting ready, and I had to buy this dress, and I had to buy this nail. So you should have to pay for everything, and I'll have a lobster and 3 steaks, please. You're like, whoa, what? No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Then don't do it. I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying like there's
a dumb argument on her part.
Look, I mean, if she shows up and orders a lobster and 3 steaks, get up and run the hell out of the restaurant, because by the time she has a kid or two, she's going to be 569 pounds, and she's going to be as ornery as she. You think this is ornery? It'll really get ornery.
Yeah, I mean, if she's pulling that kind of nonsense, yeah,
See what I mean?
She's
Yeah.
already probably got. Ken Kitten says, "Hey, Keon, South Florida Bulls at Florida Atlantic Owls. Who you got? Is that going to be part of your Keon Rose college football dance party?"
Well, let's see. Are they already playing, or are they going to play here in a few minutes?
I have no idea.
If you wait a segment,
it's all Florida, so who cares? I thought Florida got wiped off the map. What happened?
No, they're still there.
Only part of it.
Why can't we get bigger storms?
That was the biggest one that hit that area in like a century.
Still not enough.
Oh my God.
Just a real shame. Anyway, Baker's Cocky Hen says Keon hasn't seen Something About Mary, has he? Men have some work to put in pre-date. Oh, that's funny.
It's less work.
Yeah,
you enjoy that more. You know exactly what you're talking about.
Baker's Cocky Hens also says, yeah, it sounds like this girl's definitely ordering a dessert or two. Ringless Joe says, I don't know which team looked more scary last night, the Jets or the Texans. I'm talking scary, like bad scary. Well, bad scary is the Texans because they choked. The Jets were expected to be pretty good because they got a pretty good squad, but they just have been bad. In the first 2 quarters, they look badder than bad.
Yeah.
I don't mean in the Andre 3000 way. I mean the other way, the bad way. Not the Michael Jackson way. I'm talking like the really
bad,
just
bad
actually
isn't
bad
bad
way.
isn't good. Yeah, like it's the Jets in the first half, they've got to figure that out because most of the teams they're trying to beat at some point, whether it's in the regular season or if they make it to the postseason, are not going to wait for them to get going in the second half. It's like a different team gets off the bus to start the game, and then they swap out with the actual Jets at halftime. It's ridiculous.
It was weird because it was the way things were described post game were not what I saw in the first 2 quarters. So, all right. I mean, I don't feel bad having turned away because it was just so damn bad. Rye Guy says, I agree with Jeffrey. I don't know what happened over the last decade, but the pedestal women in general have climbed up on. It's audacious. Well, I mean, listen, we need to treat
just all women everywhere.
No, I don't know if that's fair. We need to treat women. We got to treat women. We have to be gentlemen no matter what they do. Whatever, no matter what they say, what they do, we still need to be gentlemen because the good ones will appreciate it. You know, and it's the way we were brought up. It's not something we're doing to try to tear them down or make them feel less than or anything. It's just, I'm a gentleman. I'm going to ask you out. I'm going to pay for it. And that's just all there is to it. And, you know, I think we, by our own choice, should put women on a pedestal, at least higher than that of our buddies, our pals. That's why I don't intentionally fart or like spit in front of my wife. I never hock a loogie in front of her because she thinks it's gross. So I treat her as better than I do my buddies. But when it's a woman has an expectation that is like not really in reality or balanced, like this woman saying, well, I think this is why I'm still going to pay for the date, but your reasoning means we're not dating because your reasoning just shows you and the ugliest side of you, you know,
which look, like to me, it's, I don't know. I don't even see it as that big of a deal. If you come across this person and you don't like her, you don't have to go on other dates. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to meet you or not nice to meet you. Either way, guess we're moving on. Like, I don't know. The fact that there has to be like a conversation around it is almost, to me, I don't know what to do with it.
Well,
sometimes.
because she went viral on this, and a lot of girls are going, yeah. I'm like, whoa.
Okay, but like that's social media. That we know how opinions are on social media. Most real life people do not act or think that way. So I'm not particularly worried about it.
Well, us as a bunch of men, you know, she could just sit there and scream herself till she gets tired. We don't care. You know, there's other things that, that pop up that people tell you, and you're like, what, now this? Because somebody, an etiquette expert, came up and said that it was rude to, look underneath the bathroom stall to see if somebody's sitting in there. I don't think that's true. They say you should knock politely, like, anyone in there? That's worse. If I'm sitting there, I want you to look under and see my feet and leave me the hell alone so I can just, deal with my business. But I don't like, anyone in there? Yeah. Why don't you just look under? You can see my feet, dummy. I mean, but they're saying it's rude to glance down and see somebody's feet.
It's not even a rudeness thing for me. I do not want to ever be close enough to a bathroom floor to look under a stall. I'm not.
Nobody said you had to bend over and do the limbo. I'm just talking like you're standing back.
It depends, because some of them they're low enough, or the toilet is far enough back. You can't really always tell. And if I can't tell easily, I'm not gonna.
You just jiggle the hand. Okay, we're good. Moving on.
Yeah.
But most of them you can see the feet, and
if I can see it pretty easily, then that's the cue right there.
Her other etiquette tips are true. Don't make small talk in the bathroom. Nobody wants to talk to you. Don't choose a urinal right next to somebody if there's another urinal available. That's a huge.
I mean, that's
foul.
just an obvious.
These are obvious. I just don't think it's a big deal to look. I'm not sticking my entire head under the door going, hey, how you doing? You been here a while? Would you like a brownie? I'm not doing that. Berg,
all the foods.
Yeah. Berg says social media can be a cesspool. What man wouldn't treat a woman with the utmost respect? I'm thinking Donnie. Kiss the Cook says
the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, that's right. Anybody on that roster. Kiss the Cook says, wish I could video this. I'm taking my mom out for her birthday tonight. After dinner, my brother and I are walking out, leaving her with the bill. But we're not telling her the bill's already been paid for. Oh, so she's going to sit there and go, oh, God. Why are you doing that? That's funny, but
it's funny.
How old are you and your brother?
That's so mean.
Like, even better, how old's your mom?
Because her heart might not be able to handle that if that number is a sufficiently large number.
You might want to rethink this.
Yeah, it might be the last dinner you ever take her to if she doesn't take it well.
Bat Flipper says, like the Bronx Tale, you paid her $20 to leave you alone. Ringless Joe says, am I going crazy, or do the Suns actually look good this year? They don't suck that bad these last 5 games. No, they look okay. They look fine, but it's really early, man. Let's just see what happens.
they do look like a much different team. Like the basketball that they're playing, the way the ball is moving, the fact that they are attempting, a decent amount of threes per game. They're 13th right now. They were bottom 5 last year, and they're still top 5 in 3-point shooting percentage, which means they're just scoring more.
Beer Bob thinks Randy had a hot take earlier. I don't know what the hot take was, but he says, hey, where's the sounder that the opinions of Randy White do not reflect those of 1580 The Fanatic or their subsidiaries? First off, I don't think we have subsidiaries. Second off, I don't think anybody here can spell subsidiary. Third, I don't remember hearing a hot take from Randy that needed disclaiming.
Maybe it was about the woman.
The opinions of Randy White do not reflect those of 1580 The Fanatic. Slow-Mo Zoe says, hey, Randy.
Yes.
Don't you have diplomatic immunity? You're now basically untouchable.
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll have to see some paperwork on the ambassador.
There's no paperwork. On Jupiter, there's no paperwork. Everything's digital.
Oh, I see. I thought you were going to say everything is crushed from the huge pressure of the gaseous giant.
Oh, no.
She Skull says, I was at the airport and I saw somebody in the bathroom with bare feet and no socks.
That person will not see the light of heaven.
Or will live forever because now their body is immune to everything. If they survive that, they'll survive anything.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper sees them and just goes, later.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, I thought you gave a single finger under the stall for, yes, come in, and a hand wave for go away. Oh, I see, like this or this. Yeah, I guess that could work, Baker's Cocky Hens. Mr. Wilbur says, did you just say, do you want a brownie? I think we can go all sorts of different directions with that, according to Moist One.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to. Hefty Lefty says, wait, complimenting the pressure of someone's stream is frowned upon? Damn, I was just trying to be nice and imply that person has a healthy prostate. You know who, I don't know if, Keon, you weren't here at the time. I'm going to say something, and then I'm going to say a name, and Randy's going to go, yep, and laugh. Okay? I was in the urinal here at CRC Broadcasting, and I'm working a pretty good stream. It's pretty loud. Marcus comes in and says, well, that's pretty healthy stream you've got there. Remember Marcus?
Yeah.
I'm like, that was one of the few times in my life I was able to actually cut the stream off and get the hell out of there. Thanks, Marcus. Gotta go. Just really uncomfortable right now.
I hope you understand that if you compliment my stream in a bathroom, where I cannot stress this enough, I do not want to talk to you. Like to the point of hostility. I do not want to talk to you. If you compliment anything that is happening in a bathroom, you live in there now because I'm waiting outside, and when you leave, I'm punching you in the neck. I do not want to talk to you about any bodily function in the bathroom. I don't want to talk to you at all, but definitely not that. I will hit you. That is not. I'm not joking.
I once took a gallon of water into the bathroom, and I went into a stall and I started pouring it out a little bit at first, and I was going ooh, and it got ooh.
You let that thing go for 20 minutes,
faster and faster and harder and faster, and by the end I was going whoa, wow, boy, did that. Whoever was in there, they stopped whatever they were doing. I don't know if it was number 2. They didn't wipe. They didn't wash. They were out. They were gone. And I started laughing. So that is the best joke I think I've ever pulled in a bathroom ever.
Me and that person are on the same page. That is uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do that. That's fun. I want to do that, but I want to do it in the women's room.
What you need to do is bring in 3 oranges and drop them in the toilet.
Wait a little bit. Water splashing out.
I've thought about doing that as well.
On the floor.
Oh my God.
Oh, that came right back in there. Oh God. Oh, I need an actual towel, please.
Anyone got a plumber?
Baker's Cocky Hen says, sounds like you shouldn't have to be paying for any dinners with that healthy stream.
No.
Sir Drives a Lot says, bloop. Finding Wampa says, Prime Minister of Jupiter did what in the bathroom? Oh, yeah.
That's
That'll
right.
be in the papers now. You
Oh,
might
yeah.
be might be dethroned. Bruno Baller says, is the college football dance party coming up next? Yes, calm down. We'll get there when we feel like it. Kiss the Cook says, I'm 61. My brother's 58. My sister is 64. Mom is 83, but she's a spry 83. Yeah, she used to be a Playboy bunny.
Hey,
that's a lot of information
Yeah,
right there.
Did she want those business in the streets? Like that's
Yeah,
I don't
But let me just say this: if you do leave her there and she thinks she's been left the bill, she knows how to, she knows how to
get
pay
it.
that. Yeah, she
Pay
knows
that
how to.
bill.
Yeah. Top's coming off. It's going to get interesting. You don't want to go walk back in there. You don't want to see what she's got to do. She's like, I just got to make it to the parking lot. Ringless Joe says, I've noticed a significant lack of Donnie gloating after the Vikings died 2 games in a row. I never want to hear again how Brian Flores is an elite DC ever again. He's pretty good.
He is pretty good. And like what he's built there is also pretty good. But they also lost players on defense this offseason. Like it's not a perfect defense, but it's great.
You know what? Kyler, Quiet Cannon, you're right. He says, always knock on the door of a bathroom stall. Kyler Murray could be in there, and his feet don't dangle down far enough where you'd see him looking under the door.
Oh, my God.
That is true. Wilbur says, I love going into the stall, and if somebody's in the stall next to me, waiting a few minutes and then flushing and then saying out loud, really quick to myself, feed up. I don't understand that.
Feet up. Feet.
Feet up. You put feed as in D's.
Must have been voice to text.
Baker's Cocky Hen says, what year and issue is she in? Oh, brother.
Yeah. That's
Well,
exactly the can of worms that I was hoping would not be open.
She's 83. Do the math.
Bat Flipper says 83-year-old topless moms. That's a new low. Just the nipples. We're talking down by the kneecaps. If you're lucky, ankles more likely. Navy Brad says, I've gone into a restroom, lots of people in there. I sprayed fart spray and several got ill. Very funny. Dude, why would you? That's chemical warfare. I hope you did that in the military and nowhere else. So, all right, let's take a break. We'll come back. We got Keon Rose's college football dance party coming up next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
The Fanatic is your home for fall football. Catch the NFL and NCAA live games on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by Bet365. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben. From the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, your prayers. He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake and I approve this message.
Championship weekend is coming back to the desert. 4 title races in 3 days means there will be a buzz in the air all weekend long. NASCAR Championship Weekend at Phoenix Raceway, November 8th through the 10th. Get your tickets now at phoenixraceway.com.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Hey, Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Delicious says, well, I was actively cheering for that dumbass on the Jets not to score. Help me win my first TD bet. But yes, just check for feet. Try to open the stall. Don't knock like you're like a Jehovah's Witness or something.
Yeah, just to
Do they work the bathrooms? Sir Drives a Lot says, averaging $10 a trip, 70 trips, plus 95. Going to be a good weekend. What are you talking about? You just sent me, is it, so you drive one of the services, and today he's made $229 already with $36 of that in tips. Well, that's cool, man. Good for you, Sir Drives a Lot. Oh, Sir Drives a Lot. Duh. Which one do you do? Are you Uber? Are you Lyft? Oh, I saw a Waymo car the other day driving.
Yeah, they've been rolling them out on the highway a little bit more often now.
It's weird. I was turning left to go into the dermatologist, and a Waymo car was turning left the other way, and it did it like an actual person. It didn't just go wait and go. It was just kind of like pulled up, rolled a little bit, and then went boom. I'm like, whoa, that was weird.
Yeah, it's weird, but it's like it's machine learning. Like they
disconcerting.
When I first moved here, there were still people in the driver's seat of the Waymos. Like, I think that's just how they've been learning is a person drove. And then eventually, after you get confident enough that the computer knows what the hell it's doing, then it's learned from presumably just people who could drive pretty well.
Hefty Lefty says, Godspeed to all listeners participating in no, whatever you're not doing November. Oh, are we doing anything like that? No. Do you grow any facial hair at all, Keon?
Not very well.
Randy already has facial hair. When we had a beard growing contest one year, I won that thing.
Yes, you did.
I mean, I still have some good stubble now. It's just now it's all turned gray, so you can't even really see it very well.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what we would know blank November. What do you think? No whiskey November? That just sounds like intervention.
That just sounds like punishment.
Sounds like, bad time. I don't know. What can we do for charity? We just do something.
No walking on the freeway. November.
I've got plans. Why would you do that?
All right. No flying in hot air balloons. November.
That's basically no flying hot air balloons ever for not wanting to die. So no, I can do that easy for me.
Okay. I say we do it then.
CK wants no Ralph November. Wow.
Boy.
Big George says it's a no shower November for me. Going to go all natural all month long. Woo-wee. Good thing you're in California.
Yeah, no kidding.
Moist One says, just remember, a peanut isn't actually a nut, so you can eat as many as you want this November. I don't think that's what no nut November means. Moist One. Baker's Cocky Hen says, I just had a Waymo almost hit me. I was at a red light and it was going to my right to turn right at the light. Pedestrian came up in the bike lane where it was heading to turn, and it came back right towards me. Slowly maneuvered around me, but still, it was like 2 inches. Very scary after being rear-ended recently by a drunk driver. Yeah, I saw a standoff between 4 Waymo cars. It was in New York, and it was on a video. I didn't see it personally, but an Amazon van was double parked, and the Waymo vehicles didn't know what to do about it. There were two coming one direction and two behind it. Now, the two coming the other direction could have gone right by it without a problem, but they were scared. So it locked up traffic for like 5 minutes. Like 19 cars were honking, going, "What the hell?" Of course, it's New York, and you're going to hear about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're not perfect yet, but, you know. Sir Drives a Lot says, "I'm really bad at sending you guys messages. LOL. He's for others. I still don't understand what you're talking about." Oh, he does all of them. He does Uber and Lyft. I think that's what he means. Ringless Joe says the biggest game of the year is this Sunday. Well, let's get back to that. And you tell us what that is, because I can't read your mind, Ringless Joe. Tuck says, take a page out of the book of Seinfeld. Who can go longer? Doing what? Baker's Cocky Hen says Waymo is acting like Spider-Man meme out there. That is exactly what that was. So, all right, listen, I have some college football things that I do want to talk with Keon about, but I can wait. Because I know you're going to talk about ASU taking on defeated Oklahoma State Cowboys, right? Is that going to be in your thing?
That is going to be in it, yeah.
I mean, they are favored over us, but they haven't won a game since like forever. But I'll let you go ahead and break that down. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for Keon Rose's college football dance party. Take it away, Randy.
Sir. Yes, sir. It is Friday. You know what that means? That means we talk college football, what's happening this weekend. Keon will break it down for you. Let's start with what's happening here very shortly when number 15 Boise State is at home at the Albertsons Blue Turf Field, and they take on unranked San Diego State. Now let's start there, Keon. What's your pick in this game?
Yeah, I'm going to take Boise State. I mean, they've been absolutely on a tear this season. Ashton Jonty I think he's the front runner to win the Heisman this year. He just looks fantastic. He's leading the nation in rushing yards, 1,376 of those. He's second in the nation in rushing touchdowns, 18 of those. He's just a machine, and he scores all the time. And I think that better teams have tried to slow him down than the San Diego State Aztecs. I'll go ahead and take the Broncos.
Okay, up next, Duke is paying a visit to number 5 Miami. That's going to be at the Hard Rock Stadium. Tell us about that game, Keon.
Yeah, well, it's interesting as a game. It's a little bit of a revenge game there for Manny Diaz, the head coach of Duke, who was once upon a time the defensive coordinator at Miami and also the head coach before the guy who's there now, Mario Cristobal, got $80 million to replace him. So I think he, as in Diaz, has got the Duke Blue Devils playing really well. I do think that they're going to show up in this game and compete and try to win it for their coach. And it's not going to matter because Cam Ward is on the other sideline playing quarterback. And the University of Miami is really, really damn good. And speaking of Heisman Trophy potential winners, Cam Ward is right there in the conversation with 24 touchdowns this season.
All right, the Golden Gophers of Minnesota traveling to Champaign, Illinois to take on number 24 ranked the Illini. And this is going to be a game that's going to be on high noon on FS1 on Saturday. I've got Minnesota in this game. I am putting Illinois on an upset notice, but what say you, Keon Rose?
And there's plenty of reason to think that Minnesota could win this game. They've been, on top of everything in games they show up. They're buttoned up. They play really well. 5-3 this year. I'm still taking Illinois in the game, though. Brett Bielema has never lost to Minnesota.
Wow.
So you're coming in as the favorite. You're at home. You're a 2-loss Big Ten football team in a year where, we've got an expanded college football playoff. I think that these Fighting Illini mean business. Luke Altmaier has been the steady hand at quarterback for the Fighting Illini. So I'm going to take Brett Bielema to continue to do to Minnesota what he's done to them his entire career, beat them.
19th ranked Ole Miss is heading to Arkansas, and they're going to take on the Sioux Pigs. What's about this game? What do you like about this game?
I think what I like the most about this game is just that, they say styles make fights. I like that this is going to be a team that likes to win on the outside in Ole Miss, where they like to spread you out. They like to attack downfield, really stretch your defense out and test your ability to cover their receivers, versus a team that likes to fight in the trenches in Arkansas. Arkansas likes to get ugly. Let the big guys determine whether or not this game is going to be a win or a loss for us. I just happen to think that the better talent, the better athletes, that's in Ole Miss. And, they've just been, for the most part, a really good football team. They have had their disappointing moments, obviously, but I think that Arkansas just doesn't really have the athletes to hang with them.
Ohio State is on the road, and they're going to take on Penn State. Ohio State's got a loss. Penn State doesn't. It's 3 versus 4. What say you, Keon Rose, Penn State or Ohio State?
If you thought the game last night was ugly, this game's going to get ugly. We have 2 teams that don't really start fast, so that's already a thing. You've got a couple of teams that don't mind settling for field goals. They're not the most aggressive. And I'm not the biggest believer in the way that Ohio State has won some of their games. Obviously, they've won a lot of them. But when I watch them, it just doesn't feel like they're being that explosive. And I could say the same thing for Penn State. I'm going to give Penn State the edge because I think they're playing at home. And I also just like the way they run the ball that much better. This game's going to be close and it's going to be hideous. And none of us are going to enjoy watching it. So it's a good thing we're going to get it out of the way at noon.
Another game that's going to be featured on Peacock at 3:30 p.m. Number 13 Indiana takes on Michigan State. And I'm calling upset on Indiana because I feel like Michigan State has got the ball on Indiana, but you might not agree with that, Keon. What do you think?
Yeah, I just think that if you've got the playoff in your sights, and Indiana certainly does, they're undefeated. I just haven't seen anything from Michigan State to suggest that they're a consistent enough team to take down the Hoosiers here. Again, feels really weird to say Hoosiers dominating in football and not basketball, but they're 5-0 in the Big Ten. They're 8-0 overall. And the thing that I really am surprised with them is, like, it doesn't even matter sometimes who they've had to throw in a quarterback. They find a way to get it done. Where Michigan State Michigan State, they hurt themselves a lot. They turned the football over a ton. I just don't trust them to pull off the upset in this spot.
Seems like Indiana, they're not going to have their leader behind center. Isn't he out for surgery on his hand?
Yeah, he's out, and I believe that it is what's his name? Jackson. I can't remember. Taven Jackson is the guy. I think that he's done a good job in the little bit that he's played in relief. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. I don't think that Indiana's done just because they are missing their quarterback.
All right. In another game that's, I think, interesting, number 1 Oregon is playing a former number 1 team, national champions from last year, Michigan at the Big House, 3:30 on CBS. What say you, Keon Rose? Is this upset central, or is Oregon going to roll?
I feel disappointing this week because I just keep going chalk, but I got to go with the Ducks here. For no other reason than the Ducks have the biggest margin in first halves of games against ranked opponents. It's them, and then I think Illinois is right behind them. But anytime they play a ranked team, they start off fast, they start off hot, and they handle business, and they don't choke, and they don't let teams come from behind in games. They just go out there, dominate early, and then hang on to win. And Michigan is kind of the opposite of that. They don't really get out sometimes to the best starts. And then when they do, sometimes they let opponents back in games. I just think that Oregon is the more consistent football team here. Dylan Gabriel also in that Heisman watch conversation as well. And I think they've got a whole lot to play for and a lot to prove in their first year in the Big Ten. I'll take the Ducks.
I really feel like I should open a bet up because another game that I'm calling upset is when Texas A&M, currently ranked 10th in the country, visit the Gamecocks in South Carolina. What say you, though?
Yeah, I don't know that I can necessarily say that about the Gamecocks. And, a Gamecock on the text line is going to probably be not happy to hear that. But when you look at what Mike Elko has done at Texas A&M and the fact that he has gotten his team to rise to the challenge of being better than they were a year ago, and the fact that they've been able to find finally some success at quarterback and some stability along that offense, and the fact that they are also a good defensive team, I'm going to take the Aggies, which hurts me to say because I hate the Aggies.
So I'm trying to figure out why ASU is the underdog. They're coming off a bye week. They are on the road. They are going to Boone Pickens Stadium, but they have beat Oklahoma State in the past, and now they're underdogs again. So what say you? ASU taking on I'm a man and Oklahoma State Cowboys.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mike Gundy, obviously very iconic, telling everybody loudly that he's a man, and that, well, at the time he was 40. I believe that it's been 20 years since then. But regardless, I think that when you look at what ASU has done and how consistently they've played, I feel much better about ASU on the road in this game. In fact, ASU on the road is about as surefire a thing as anything in college football right now.
Don't jinx us.
They compete well on the road is all I'm saying. They have lost on the road too. It's not like, I'm pointing out anything that hasn't already occurred for a loss before. I'm just saying they still do a really good job of it. This is not a team that gets rattled when they have to go travel and go into someone else's house and beat them. I also think that Oklahoma State has not done a very good job of keeping themselves in line, not beating themselves. And when you look at the teams that ASU has faced, when they play teams that don't really take care of themselves, whether that's Kansas goes out there and they make a ton of mistakes, they've been able to take advantage of those things. And I just think that, some rest, some recovery, being able to come back and get to it. The only reason why they're dogs, in my opinion, is just preseason expectations, that Oklahoma State was expected to be better. And there's still a group of people who believe that they can kind of maybe turn things around and fix it. And there are also still some ASU doubters out there. Yeah. But I'm not one of them, and I'll be taking the Sun Devils to win this game because there's nothing I've seen from Oklahoma State that would suggest to me that they are winning this or many other games this season.
All right. I did find that game. One of our texters was asking about, can I cover that, or are we too late?
Is that even worth covering?
South Florida versus FAU. It's currently underway. It's 0-0. It's at FAU. What do you think, Keon?
Yeah. It's a game worth covering if in fact you are, something of a gambling degenerate, but like these are not good teams. I think South Florida is a little bit better. I don't know how deep I need to get into this. South Florida is just a little bit better than FAU. I haven't enjoyed watching either of these teams this year, so I haven't watched a ton of them.
Strong like bull.
And whatever the catchy thing you would say is for an owl. But yeah, I'm going with the Bulls of South
Wise
Florida.
as an owl.
That's true.
Maybe.
Yeah.
How many licks does it take to get to the bottom of a Tootsie Roll top? 1, 2, 3. That's the only owl thing I know.
That's a classic.
That's this week's Keon Rose's college football dance party, Jeffco.
All right. I will have some additional college football things to talk with Keon about in a personal consultation when we come back. Got a lot of texts on the text line about Keon Rose's college football dance party. So the after party will be up next. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Sports betting apps are not created equal. Dylan Cohen from Beat the Book here to talk about the Sport Trade Advantage. With higher payouts, Sport Trade is the ultimate sports betting experience. Sport Trade is the first sports betting app that gives you the option to see the odds expressed as probabilities, and it's changing in-game betting forever. If it's easier to understand 52% probability of winning versus minus 108 odds, then Sport Trade is for you. With this percent odds feature, cashing out now makes much more sense. As the win probability changes, so does the value of your bet. And if you're an experienced bettor and prefer American odds, you'll get pricing closer to minus 106 versus the normal minus 110, coupled with instant in-play betting. No more spinny wheels. So download Sport Trade today to see the difference and beat the book. Use promo code 1580 to earn 10% cash back on every bet you place in your first week. Terms apply.
Sport Trade is regulated by the Arizona Department of Gaming. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Rubin wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed a law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Direct savings and client focus, the cornerstones of the Diamond Dave philosophy.
Hi, I'm Diamond Dave Cantor. My team and I at Desert Wholesale Diamond can be your trusted friends with an inside scoop on the diamond world.
Just like they are to thousands of people around the world.
And just like we have been for over 34 years.
At Diamond Dave's, it's all about the diamonds and the savings, not paying for high-end retail locations or the overhead of a mall.
You stand to save big time with our by appointment professional office approach combined with direct importing.
When you choose Diamond Dave's, you choose huge savings, top quality, and excellent service. Call, email, or message us for an in-person appointment.
Or sit back and relax for free FedEx shipping anywhere in the USA.
Call Diamond Dave at 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow him on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
We know how it goes. You can't always tune in and hear your favorite shows and hosts.
Dude, look, I'm a loser. Okay?
It's cool, bro. That's why we post podcasts of your favorite shows and hosts. Listen when you want to. Listen on demand.
That is great and frankly kind of amazing.
Go to 1580thefanatic.com to download.
Hey, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So at the conclusion of Keon Rose's college football dance party, let's get caught up on the text line. People had comments for it. Slow Mo Zo says, give a hoot, don't pollute. Oh, that's another good Al one. Yeah. Raven Kid says, I just barely missed it. Who did Keon have in the Penn State-Ohio State game?
It's going to be an ugly game.
I took Penn State. It's going to be a hideous game. I don't think any of us is going to be happy to watch it. But
see, I don't think Ohio State's that strong though. I mean, who have they played of any stature that they've dominated?
Well,
yeah,
just
I don't think they belong in the top 5. I think they're just there because they're Ohio State.
They're Ohio State, and they are 6-1. Like the fact is, like if you say who have they beaten, the teams in front of them, and the one loss they have is a really close game against Oregon, who's been beating everybody.
Bruno Baller says, "Wow, that Tootsie Pop thing sure did bring back some memories, though." Yeah, doesn't it? Booger Wolf says, "Vikings freaking suck." Ha 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 ha. I didn't think we were talking about that, but yeah, okay.
No.
Slow Mo Zo says, Keon, what is your takeaway from Illinois getting spanked by Oregon? I thought Illinois would put up a bigger fight.
I thought they would too, but Oregon is a brutally tough team to play. It's hard to play them in Eugene, Oregon. And, you know, like the other thing is, like I said, Oregon starts off faster than any other team. You can find yourself behind the 8 ball when you're playing the Ducks in a matter of moments, and they do not give the lead back. They are absolutely content to get a 14-point lead on you and just run the ball until the game is over. And I don't think Illinois was equipped for that.
Moist One says, you should be in the state pen. You belong in the state pen for picking Penn State. Ew.
As opposed to Ohio State. I don't feel good about either of these. Like if I picked Ohio State, I would feel just as gross and disgusting right now.
Ringless Joe says Lions versus Packers battle for number 1. The only thing I can think is the Vikings thank the Vikings for is beating the Packers once already. If only the Texans or the Jags could have pulled their head out and beat them too. Okay, has nothing to do with what we were talking about. Navy Brad says, I sent in my ballot and I wrote in for the new United States leader, Jeffrey and Randy.
Wow. Thank you.
So I guess you're vice president. I'm president.
There it is.
We can lead together. You know,
hell yeah, we can.
When I want a weekend or month or 2 off, Randy's got it, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Rye Guy says, I know what no November means for me and my angry girlfriend.
Ooh.
Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Chief Skull says, tell Booger Wolf the Vikings have a better record than his 49ers, who barely got past the Cowboys. I don't know what the Vikings are. Probably not today. You know what I'm saying? Probably don't argue that today.
No.
All right. So let me get to what I wanted to talk to Keon about with the college football dance party. I need you to explain something to me.
Okay.
There are 11 teams in the NCAA's Ohio Valley Conference. Which one's from Ohio?
Which one's
None
from
of them.
Ohio? Okay.
None of them. None of them are from Ohio. They're from Arkansas, Illinois, Missouri, and Kentucky, and Indiana, and Tennessee. None. Zero from Ohio. What the hell is that?
It got named when there were teams there from Ohio.
We need to disband the NCAA from this alone.
Well, it's not the NCAA's fault.
Blender.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Mistake. I hit a key.
In the key of wrong.
That's my favorite key to sing in, personally.
This is as dumb as hell, having an Ohio Valley Conference where nobody in it is from Ohio.
Yeah, I agree.
Bad enough having the Big 12 only have so many teams in there. The Big 10 that you can't have a number next to your name if you don't have the exact number of the teams in the conference. Outside of that, you're not the big anything. You're not the pack nothing. You just shut your damn mouth.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I don't know if you can blame the NCAA for that. It's these specific conferences that have called themselves.
Have they
things.
no say in anything? No, I would step in if I was the NCAA. Hey, bastards, you're the Big 16. Now you shut your mouth.
They
change your logo.
They probably could, but look at the things that the NCAA does. They don't move on anything quickly. Why would they move on this? The more important things than this, they have failed to address. This is not even at the top of their list.
I'm angry. I'm angry about the fact there's 11 teams in the NCAA's Ohio Valley Conference, and none of them are in Ohio. That right there is a no-brainer. That's not even that's a phone call. That's a phone call, Keon.
Yeah, but those are people who have brands. The brand is the Ohio Valley Conference, and they're not interested in changing it.
All right, I want to talk about the next thing. Again, this will be the third time you've said it. Or who'd you pick in the Penn State thing?
I picked Penn State.
Oof. Penn State can rot in hell for a lot of reasons we already know about. But here's a brand new reason for Penn State to rot in hell. Penn State, the students there, they're calling for a boycott of Fox Sports show because of the kickoff time. They're upset because they're like, well, this game should have been a night game. This is a big deal. It's number 3 versus number 4. And having us on in the middle of the day, how dare you? We belong in prime time. We don't belong at noon Eastern. That's at 9 a.m. Pacific. This, and then why? Because Big Noon had been scheduled to air there from Happy Valley. So they're like, well, this is how we do it. We do our show at a certain time, and then the game is right after. And they're like, no, we're better than this. We're more important than this. We should be on later. Rotten hell, Penn State. If no other reason, just that.
It is 3 versus 4. And it is Ohio State versus Penn State. It is a big game. It's like a prime game.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Big Ten is known for those, noon kickoffs, those, early kind of Saturday afternoon fall football classics.
And it's the premier game slot for Fox. Like, it's not like no one's going to be watching you. Many people will be watching you because big noon kickoff, that is the big game for Fox.
A student actually got on video. Was like, I'm asking you, Penn State students, to please boycott big noon kickoff. Do not show up.
God.
You're on the biggest stage on that network.
Morons.
What do you want?
I want Penn State to burn in hell.
Okay.
You want Penn State to burn in hell?
Yes.
The whole school.
Burn in hell.
Penn State.
Yeah,
I didn't like Penn State to begin with. Now I really don't like them.
I don't know.
After the Sandusky thing, now I really, really don't like them.
After
this nonsense.
I don't think that this just feels like one of those things that's being blown out of proportion. Are there really a bunch of students that are saying boycott this, or is it one dumbass that they put on camera? Because if it's just one person, I care.
Here's one of the things. Ben Rosenbaum, one of the writers for Onward State, the Penn State, newspaper / blog, is calling for people to boycott the game based on that as well.
Why don't you step off and go do your psychology homework?
Yeah, and dude, you're a writer. You don't
Yeah,
you're not gonna,
but like if you shouldn't have that column if you don't understand that that's actually a good spot, a good time slot on Saturday for college football.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell
prime
you.
time. It is the prime time for that show and for that network.
You want to be on either at noon, because you know what other game shows up on at noon every year? Texas and Oklahoma. That's a gigantic matchup all the time. It makes a ton of money. Of course you put it on at noon because that's when a lot of people are watching football on Saturday. And the fact that you're on the East Coast and you're going to cry about it, that's your own problem. That's not my problem. I don't care.
Here. I agree. Yes.
Ooh.
Don't care.
Beer Bob has a question. He says, if you're prime minister of Jupiter, Randy, could you be vice president of the United States, or would you have to renounce your throne?
Probably have to renounce my throne. Yeah.
Would you renounce, or would you just stay?
Well, it's Jeffrey, so I would absolutely renounce and just jump at the chance to be with Jeffrey in Washington, D.C. We would clean this pigsty up in Washington, Jack.
At some point, Randy probably would try to smother me so he could take over, but that's another thing for down the road. I'm not upset about it. I mean, I expect it.
Don't stand on the roof of the White House, Randy.
Slow-Mo Zoe says, yeah, it seems like a conflict of interest there. You mind your own business, Slow-Mo Zoe, or I'll deport you. I'm going to deport you.
Yeah.
I'm going to deport a lot of people. Harvey Putt-Swaddler says, Ohio River Valley touches a lot of states. Yeah. Well, hour 3 is up next.
Hey, sports fans, this is Dylan Cohen.
And I'm Keon Rose, and we're bringing you Beat the Book every weekday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon.
So if you want the latest betting picks, advice, and analysis that's sharp as a knife,
or at least sharper than Dylan's last pick on the Cardinals.
Oh, you've got jokes, huh? Maybe you're feeling bold now that your Commanders actually look decent this season.
Hey, even a broken clock's right twice a day, right?
Well, tune in to Beat the Book with us, Dylan Cohen and Keon Rose, every weekday from 2 to 3 on 1580 The Fanatic.
Brought to you by Sport Trade, the newest sports book in Arizona.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Not all policies will qualify. Not available in all states.
Hey guys, Jeffrey O'Brien here. Did you know Harman Solar has gone super high tech? There's an amazing tool at harmansolar.com that'll give you an instant ballpark solar estimate using satellites from space. You just type in a little information, and within seconds, you'll have an idea of just how little money it takes to save big on that monthly electric bill. I did it, and within seconds, they measured my roof and calculated my savings. It's very impressive. Go to harmansolar.com and give it a try yourself. That's harmansolar.com.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, your prayers. He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Forte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K257CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 EU Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harman Solar Studios in Scottsdale. We were talking about how Penn State students are calling for a boycott of the Fox Sports show, saying, no, don't show up. Everybody just don't go. This game should be on at night. And it's stupid, but you know what? Megatron might be right. He says it's the school. They want the night game with a whiteout and the fireworks. I'm sure you're right. And then that would also explain why Ben Rosenbaum, who's a writer for Onward State, gives a crap about football, because normal life, that little nerd probably doesn't. So I'm just saying he might have gotten a call from the dean going, I need you to do a thing.
I mean, maybe, but the thing that's silly to me is you are just part of the Big Ten Conference, and the Big Ten has the biggest portion of their media deal with Fox, and that is the biggest time slot that Fox has to offer. Your boycott isn't going to do anything because the money that your school receives is coming from the network that wants to put your game on at noon. So your game's on at noon. Shut up.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, whoever is upset
Wow.
about it, it's getting printed. It's getting, well, it's just
Next time, work out a deal with ESPN. Don't make this everybody else's problem. Nobody else
Wow,
cares.
more fire from Keon Rose. Wow.
Raven Kid says, I got a question. Is Ashton Genty going for 200 tonight?
Maybe. I think he might.
Ashton Genty from the Boise State Broncos.
Yeah, man. That guy's a monster.
Ringless Joe says, woo, Pig Suey. Okay.
I believe it's Suey Pig.
Go ahead.
Suey.
I'm just reading what he said, man. King Kenton says the next 4 Cardinals home games will be broadcast regionally on CBS Sunday afternoon football.
Nice. That's 4 wins.
Booker Wolf says Chief Skull can gas it through his blowhole. Go choke on shepherd pie, you snow hick. Go Niners.
Just a team on a 2-game losing streak, and a team that had Super Bowl aspirations, and they're 500 just arguing with each other. Like, this is, what are we supposed to do with this? Does anybody care that this fight is happening?
You know what? You know what this seems like to me, and generally, you're asking what we should do. Roll up your window. Why? It's a bum fight. You just roll up the window. Just hope none of it comes your way.
Yeah. Just maybe leave the parking lot
You
slowly.
snow hick.
Don't make eye contact.
Bum fight. So, hey, Randy, guess what?
Hey, what?
I picked the Cardinals this week.
Did you?
I know.
Wow.
But don't listen to me. I also picked the Texans to win last night. So what do I know?
That's usually a good sign for me. My best weeks come when I am wrong about the Thursday game. Don't ask me why. It just happens.
I've only been right about the Thursday game once this entire season.
I was right twice, and those were the 2 worst weeks I had. So,
Randy, are
I'll
you
take
picking
this.
the Cardinals to win?
Oh, yeah. I always do.
Do you know who they're playing?
Bears.
Oh, yeah. Still picking the Cardinals?
I'm still picking the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, you know me. I've been doing this for how many years with you?
I don't know. How many?
Long time.
6? This show since 2018. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Ringless Joe says the anomaly at the end of the season will be how the Vikings ever won 5 in a row. Beer Bob says, can't we all just get along? No, Beer Bob, we can't. He says, if not, at least stop tagging everybody on stupid Twitter. Who's tagging who on Twitter? I don't tag nobody on Twitter.
Well, it's probably not you. It's just because it happens with the fourth dimension from time to time when they collide on Twitter and then argue, and then you have an argument that's tagged 20 people, and so we're all just sitting here watching this bleep show unfold on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't pay much a hold. I get tagged in a lot of stuff, so I really don't.
Oh yeah, no, I just pushed the little notification button so that it clears it, and that's it. Do I read all of those? No, I don't. I do not.
I mean,
Not unless I'm specifically mentioned.
Yeah, I appreciate that you're thinking of me, but generally I'll start reading it and go, yeah, not for me.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with me. These two fools want to argue. Well, have fun. Don't drag me into your little measuring contest. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know which tagging are you talking about, Beer Bob? Big George says this was not me, dude. You're always tagging people. He says no, it was Ralph. Tagged all of us in his original post. What was that one about the dumb Dodgers or the dumb Lakers, or dumb everything that he likes? I don't know.
That's a good point.
See, that's the thing. I probably was even tagged in it, and I was so unaffected by it. I don't remember.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Raven Kid says untags. You can untag yourself from something? He says there are some idiots on Twitter that like to tag everyone in their drama. I really enjoy that button that untags everyone. I didn't know you could do that.
I didn't know you could do that either, probably because I'm perfectly fine with just ignoring it.
I know, but that's it. That
would make it much better. Yeah, no.
That's a good button.
I'm just lazy enough that I just didn't check. I did not know this.
Swave Dave says, like I used to say to the kids, be good. But if you can't be good, at least be reasonable. I go a different direction with my kids. I've had this conversation with all of my kids because they'll come home and they'll be like, hey, I did this thing at school today. I said, I'm going to stop you right there. I want you to know going forward, here are the rules. You're going to do some mischief. When you're doing that, think about it and think the following. Will dad think it's funny? Because if I think it's funny, you're not in trouble at home. You have to suffer your consequences for whatever you did at school. But if it's funny, I'm okay with it. But if it's not, the consequences shall be mighty. And all my kids, they all remembered that right before pulling some nonsense and thought, will dad think it's funny? And they figured me out pretty good because not one of them failed. If they're going to do some mischief, better be funny. And they know my sense of humor. So they each one of them so far has prevailed at that. But man, I've seen some other people's kids. Nope. Yeah. This is the whole thing I've always said is like, I've never had to spank my kids because I know I will. My daughter is 18. You think I won't? My son is 16 and taller than me. Think I won't? I have a son that's 30. You think I won't? He was in the Marines. He guarded Obama. I could still make him flinch. Just saying. So yes, Swave Dave. Be good, but if you can't be good, at least be reasonable. Or for Jeffrey's kids, funny. 888-368-1580. Rye Guy goes, shepherd's pie. Shepherd's pie. I've had it, a little bland. But I had, when I was in England, I had all sorts of good stuff. The food there was actually good. That was probably my biggest surprise of all. My first biggest surprise was I asked the guy, it's like, do people here actually like the NFL? And he's like, oh God, yes. I was very surprised at that. Like everybody loves the NFL in England. Did not see that coming.
No, I didn't either.
And second was just the food was good. The food was actually flavorful and tasty, and I didn't have a bad meal the entire time I was there. That's not to say I have bland tastes. I'm just saying they actually did use salt. That's all. Raven Kid says, I've only had to mute one person from the fourth dimension. Just so happened it was a Chiefs fan, and it wasn't my father, surprisingly. Yeah, I'm always surprised that you have not blocked your dad, random texter. Oh, you know what we should do? We should talk some football. I got some football stuff. I got some random football stuff. If you have Puka Nacua in fantasy football, good news. They're saying his knee injury is not believed to be serious.
Well, that's good for one of my leagues.
Can you check and see, did he practice today? Because that will have an impact on his injury designation for his game against the Seahawks this weekend.
I don't believe he did practice today.
Now
yeah.
it may not be serious, but that's enough to say maybe he doesn't play.
Maybe not this week. Yeah, he missed practice today.
Oh no, something to keep an eye on. Make sure you watch those shows, and remember the shows are on an hour later. So to find out the ins and outs with the little bald guy on Fox, you'll have to watch at 11. Seabass says, Jeffrey, it sounds like you went to Las Vegas, not actual London. People like the NFL, good food. They actually salt the food. That is definitely not the UK. That is Paris Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas. No, see, that's a myth. Tour guide that we had hanging out with us says, yeah, it was true after World War II because they were on super duper rations. They couldn't get spices to save their lives. But now they got everything we got, so it's no big deal. So that was just a myth that was perpetrated. Huh. Are there dishes here and there? Yeah, no, sure. But I've only had the shepherd's pie was a little bland, but that was it.
Okay.
Random texter says, Raven Kid would never block me. I teach him too much. Oh, he bathes in the glow of your knowledge, eh, random texter? We all hope that.
I think it sounds like he would disagree, but you know.
Dad. Lamar Jackson says he's 100% starting on Sunday. We were worried about that a little bit because he had missed some practices. So whether or not he practiced today or what the injury report says, Lamar says he is absolutely playing. So good news for random kids. I'm sorry, what was his name? Raven Kids. Random Kid.
Random Kid.
I like Random Kid. Yeah, he's some random kid. That Dad, why'd you name me that? So Lamar says he's 100% starting. Chris Olave, he's thinking about wearing one of them Guardian caps. He did not like missing a game with that concussion the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm still considering it." I was considering wearing it last game, but I went with a regular helmet. He said, but then he realized, well, the helmet he switched to a new helmet, which is way better protection. So he thought, well, that's almost as good. But he still may go for that Guardian helmet. See, this is a guy. The smart guys will figure it out. Yeah. It's like I don't want to lose time. I don't want to cost my team. We're trying to win some games here, and if I get a concussion, not only am I risking my health, but I'm also not helping my team. So Chris Olave, he's actually thinking about it. Now, if they can make him look just a little less damn goofy, I bet more people would wear them.
A lot of it has to do with just the looks. People are like that. We do make decisions based on the way things look.
Look at the way I dress. Think I care? I really don't. Ringless Joe says Browns to upset the Chargers on Sunday. Famous Jameis going to steal the win like he stole them crab legs. No. I think the Jameis Winston thing is that was a mirage.
I don't know if it's a mirage because he just is a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson right now. But I don't know. That Chargers defense is really damn good.
Mm-hmm. I'm making sure what my pick was. I'm sitting here talking all this crap, and I'm like, oh wait, what did I pick?
Did I pick them?
God, I can't ever remember what my picks were.
No, I definitely picked the Chargers. So.
I always forget my picks. Yeah, I did too. All right. My wife is always asking me what my picks are. So you know what I do is after the Thursday show, I walk downstairs with my pick sheet and I put here you go. Stop asking me. Here's my picks. That's why I didn't have them right here at my fingertips. All right. Next thing, Xavier McKinney. Xavier McKinney's like, the Lions try to embarrass people, and we don't take that lightly. Do you really feel like the Lions try to embarrass people?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Ben Johnson, it seems like every week has a play, a trick play specifically, dialed up just for the other team. Sometimes he's like, might as well. We're up 21 points. It's not going to be useful next week. I guess I'll just unload it. But the thing that made me really think about it was when they played Dallas and they had that lineman play, which when they played Dallas last year, they had the ineligible lineman. So he made a play based on that, just out of pettiness, just because it was Dallas again and he really wanted to rub it in. And he ran that while they were up by 20 something. It was just like, yeah, I think the Lions try to embarrass people. I think they like it.
All right. Well,
if you want to stop them, stop them from scoring because that's the only way.
Yeah, you got to win. You got to win. That's how you stop them. You win. You stop them by, thinking ahead of what they might try to do to you and be there. I mean, that's coaching 101. I have no problem with the team that does what the Lions are doing, because if they could, they'd be doing it too.
Yeah, that's why I've never had a problem with guys celebrating after touchdowns or whatever. Like if you didn't like the celebration or what the guy was saying or doing, I don't care. You could have kept him out of the end zone. That's the surefire way to make sure that does not happen to you.
Guess what, McKinney? Now that you've spoke up, you think the Lions aren't going to have something in store for you? You know what I mean? You don't think so? You don't think so? Packers safety Xavier McKinney? Oh, you're in trouble, buddy.
Who's been really good, by the way. I want to give him his credit. He's been awesome this year for the Packers, but
they'll just never throw in his direction. Beer Bob says, yeah, Olave, sure. Look, you look stupid. Make generational money. Sign me up. I don't care how dumb that looks. Put that Guardian cap on me. If I was any of the guys that were questioning it. Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been saying. I don't mind the tight end wearing one and looking like a mushroom. I don't mind the guy on the line sticking that goofy looking thing on. Yeah, it looks bad. It looks goofy, but I'm glad, because I'd rather have that player there next week and the week after, and not maybe, Aaron Hernandezing or, Anthony, Antonio Browning. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'd rather these guys be okay and wear a goofy looking helmet than die.
And in 20 years, when it's time to be at graduations and, walk kids down aisles,
make sure you're wearing a helmet at graduations and at weddings.
Well, no, it's more along the lines of your brain is actually going to work at those times.
Oh, my wife says that when I get older, she's going to make me wear a helmet.
Oh,
because when we get older, us old guys, we'll fall down a lot. And then she's worried.
She'll give you a personal Guardian cap to.
She says, just wear it long enough to where then you can sign over everything to me. She's got to protect.
Just don't unexpectedly fall. You know what I mean? That's a very.
Just give me power of attorney now, would you? Booger Wolf says Vikings and Chiefs fans love to wear bell-bottom pants and their jerseys tucked into them. It's a very specific insult right there. Random texter says Raven Kid wears a helmet. Well, I mean, obviously he missed the one time he should have been wearing it. So what's the point now? Thundar the San Barbarian says, so if the Arizona Diamondbacks didn't want to see the Los Angeles Dodgers win the World Series, they should have beat them on the baseball field. Yep.
Yeah, that's
the fact.
How did you think that was going to go when you said that?
He goes, but they didn't. What do you think? We're going to disagree with you?
Correct. Yes, we have eyes. We watched baseball this season.
I don't think the Diamondbacks were embarrassed by the Dodgers doing what they did.
The Diamondbacks, if anything,
we had their number.
The Diamondbacks should have been embarrassed by how the Diamondbacks played at the end of the season.
They got our own problems. I don't care about that.
You're worried about the Dodgers. You do your own thing.
Flogging Logger says, why can't the NFL come up with a helmet that does it all for everybody? Put out the bat signal for the great Gazoo. So everybody should have this big, bulbous helmet that's just all purpose. Well, I don't know, man. Seabass says, I probably should have worn a helmet in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. All right. Probably wouldn't have had all three of these kids. It's not called a helmet. That's a condom.
Yeah.
You should have worn one.
Raincoat. Yeah, helmet. That's a raincoat.
I encourage all men to get their tubes tied. Raven Kid says, Diamondbacks are picking up third baseman Eugenio Suarez as option for next year. $15 million.
He's a solid third baseman. He didn't hit very well first part of the year, and he started to come on towards the end. And I don't think it's a bad pickup for the Diamondbacks. They're an econo team. They're not like the Dodgers who can just go out and buy championships like they do, and still look stupid when they get swept by the Diamondbacks last year. This year, I'm not overwhelmed by the Dodgers winning the World Series. Isn't that what they're supposed to do?
All that money.
You got the highest payroll.
I mean, you're $750 million on your payroll. And now you're talking about putting Juan Soto on your team. Wouldn't you expect the Dodgers to win?
I have an idea. You know what you should do? Go back to 2001 and get the amount of money the Diamondbacks spent and adjust that for inflation and see if it's anywhere near what the Dodgers just spent to pay for theirs. Can we do that?
I can tell you it's not even close. But
oh, I know that. I just want to do it just so we can say that. Bama Girl is on the text line. She says, I'm Random Texter's daughter and Raven Kid's sister. I'm sorry for those two. Are you actually listening to the show, or are you just texting in to apologize on behalf of the family? I mean, I understand that. Fighting Wampa says, can you imagine if Peyton Manning had to wear one of them Guardian helmets? It would have looked like a hot air balloon on his shoulders.
He would have had his own orbit.
Yeah, but nobody would ever get near him. Chief Skull says, speaking of Dodgers, why isn't Ralph on today gloating about the Dodgers win? Is he too busy praying that they'll at least make the playoffs next year? Well, here's the thing, Chief Skull. He was on yesterday, and anytime he tried to talk Dodgers, we just shut him down.
Yeah, he just picked the wrong day to come on the show. That's a football Thursday. We do the picks. You try to talk about the Dodgers, we're moving on to football.
What's funny about that is his one place where he can just do what he wants Sunday morning, but it's the Weekend Warriors NFL football show. Yeah. So he can talk about the Dodgers there, but it's going to look weird.
Hey, look, he boxed himself in. Nobody made him make that exclusively a football show.
Yeah. And by the way, in case you care, and even if you don't, Sunday morning, the football show, the Weekend Warriors football show, it starts at 9 a.m. now. It was starting at 8 a.m., but because of the time changes this weekend, it'll start at 9 a.m. It'll go to 11 or 10:30 if there's a game, which we do happen to have this Sunday. So just so you know, program note it. 888-368-1580. Let's take a break. We'll come back and more NFL stuff. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Brought to you by G-Bank. Earn cashback rewards on every eligible gaming transaction. vsin.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply.
The NASCAR Cup Series will be racing the Xfinity 500 on Sunday in Martinsville. It'll be 500 laps around the half-mile short track, and this is the final event for 6 drivers to try to earn the final 2 spots in the season finale at Phoenix for the championship. The other 2 spots are occupied by Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick, who have wins in round number 3. Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson are the betting favorites to win at Martinsville. They're both at plus 450. Ryan Blaney at plus 600. William Byron, who won at Martinsville back in April, he's plus 750 to complete the track sweep this year. Chase Elliott is at plus 800. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Arizona.
4 years. That's how long it took Democrats to ruin our economy and plunge our southern border into anarchy. Who helped them hurt us? Ruben Gallego. Washington could have cut taxes for Arizona families, but Ruben blocked the bill. And his fellow Democrats gave a bigger break to the millionaire class in California and New York. They played favorites and cost us billions. And Ruben wasn't done yet. Democrats could have secured the border. Instead, they invited an invasion and used our tax dollars to pay for it. Ruben Gallego even backed the law to let them vote in our elections. Don't give Gallego and the Democrats another 4 years to hurt us. Give your support to a real Arizona leader, Kari Lake. Kari and the Republicans will secure the border, support our families, and never turn their backs on us. Kari Lake for Senate.
I'm Kari Lake, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Kari Lake for Senate and the NRSC.
Order for Jennifer C. Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve? Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine? Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Well, I do now. Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year? Yeah, you just said that. Did you say I just said that? Yeah, I'm cutting you off. Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn We Match, unlimited cashback match.
See terms at discover.com/credit card.
In most countries of the world, Porte means door. United Porte Custom Doors, located in the Scottsdale Airport Design District, is now open with over 40,000 European doors, all in stock, ready for delivery, and at wholesale prices. Designers, contractors, builders, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Porte, Porte. Stop by to see and feel the quality at United Porte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself, Ken Barkley, and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station, 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
What's wrong, Jeffco?
What? Time change on Sunday. Means we have 2.5 hour shows on Mondays and Thursdays now.
Well,
no more 1.5 hours.
Prepping for next week, I see that on Monday we have a regular 3-hour show. GCU is on the air on Monday night.
Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah.
That's actually a good reason. Hey, did they win their game last week? Was that a preseason game or what was that?
Yeah, that was an exhibition preseason type of game. They did win it. They did win it by a lot.
But Eastern New Mexico, yeah. I mean, they could play all of Eastern New Mexico, like the entire population, and probably still win.
And probably still win. But it was really cool to see some of the new Lopes go out there and do their thing and really show what this season might be about as they have
It's the last season in the WAC, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to the Mountain West.
And they're going to the Mountain West.
All right. So yes, you're right. You're right. Monday, 3-hour show, and then GCU at 6:45. GCU on Monday will be playing Cal State Fullerton. So,
boy, right out of the box, they've got a big team.
Yeah. Anyway, so now I'm even more depressed. Not about the GCU. That's great. I'm just talking about the fact that that can't be. Oh, that is why. Yeah, I was going to say we could play some of the show, some of the game, right? No, it wouldn't be at halftime, I think. So, oh, well. Anyways, time change. Just now we have to do mostly the entire show.
So, what do you got on your calendar there, Jeffco? I noticed you flipped the page. It's November 1st. You got it looks like a 69 Camaro, or is that a Nova?
I thought you were actually seeing my screen because just as you said that, I was flipping the calendar page. Here.
No, back there on the wall. Is that a Nova or is that on here? What do we got over there? I know we've got either an SS or a Chevelle.
All right, this right here is a Camaro.
That's a Camaro 69 or.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Give me the year of the other one though.
It looks like it's got the two headlights. Is that an SS or is that a Chevelle?
Yes.
All right. Chevelle SS, two headlights. I'd say early 70s.
No, it's a 68.
68?
Yeah, it's a 68 Chevelle right there, Super Sport. Nice, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of the two, I'd rather have the Chevelle.
Yeah.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy for that?
The 69 Camaro's always been my dream car, though.
See, there's the thing. We'll go get both those cars. I'll take the Chevelle. You can have the Camaro.
Oh, yeah. We'd have a lot of fun with that.
A lot of tickets. And a lot of fun.
Well, they're red. They're red.
Oh, it doesn't matter what color they are. Thundar the San Barbarian says, well, if it's any consolation, the New York Yankees are probably more embarrassed about the 5th inning of Game 5. Oh, I like that they were embarrassed and humiliated.
As they should. That was it's like a baseball coach's nightmare. The high school coaches watching all of those players out on the field that day, hoping to have a little bit of pride because I coached that kid, had to lower their hat to cover their eyes in shame. That was bad baseball.
Yeah, I saw the highlights. I didn't watch any of it because both of the teams that spend the most are in the World Series. So why should I watch? Who cares?
Mhm.
But that was for a team like that to play like that after you put a 5 spot up on the Dodgers, and you're going to take another game at home. You go back to Chavez Ravine with a chance to do the impossible here, and then you play like that. Wow.
Bama Girl wants you to know that Raven Kid makes her listen on her way home. So, yes, she is listening. But does he give you a ride and you can't control the radio? Or
that sounds like what the situation is.
Yeah. So she's being held hostage, I guess.
Well, I don't know that.
Sorry.
I don't know that it's. I wouldn't say that on the radio.
Sorry to
mean,
you have to listen to us against
her ears are being held hostage because
Yeah.
if Raven Kid's driving and he's controlling the radio, then she has no choice but to listen to us. So, Burger Wolf says, when you see a Vikings or a Chiefs fan on their phone and they're not really texting with anyone, instead they're adjusting the sensitivity level of their Bluetooth. I can't read the rest of that.
Wow. I have a guess, and wow. Just wow.
Floggin' Logger says, I agree with Randy. Based on the friggin' a-hole Dodgers payroll, they should have won the World Series like 27 games ago.
Yeah,
Straight
I mean-
vomit. Great representation by Kika Utley. What?
Who?
Kika Utley? I don't know. Just what it said. Great representation by Kika Utley.
Well, there's a Kike Hernandez, but I didn't hear of a Kike Utley.
That's what it says. Kiss the Cook says bobblehead Peyton is a good texter nickname. Yeah, that's not bad. I'm a girl says I'm not allowed to touch the radio ever. It's a sports 24/7 with both them. So both her brother and her dad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
it's good for you, Bama girl. It's good for you. Raven Kid says Chase Utley with the voice text is what they meant.
Chase Utley. Okay, very good.
It's just you combined two very different baseball players in either Kike Hernandez or Chase Utley into one super baseball player.
How do you get
Utley.
Kika from Chase?
I don't. Who could say?
Big George is the only one happy. He says, "Oh, this is great news! 3-hour show on Monday. That means on this date in Big George's sports history won't get preempted. That's the only thing you care about."
Yes, Big George is a man who pretended to be another person so that he could have another bit on this show. Of course, that's all he cares about.
I guess you're right. Yep. No, you're right. You're right. Random texter says, sounds like somebody's jealous of the Minnesota Vikings. You know, Kansas City Chiefs fans.
Oh,
Wow.
no, the Chiefs fans
I don't know
and-
why.
and all
You
their
mean-
Super Bowls.
Yeah,
Can't
you mean
imagine.
the back-to-back Super Bowl champion, the reigning champs, are jealous of the
You know what? In their building contains trophies your team has never witnessed. I just wouldn't be talking that trash to that fan base if I were a Vikings fan.
Yeah,
in
let's see.
particular.
No Minnesota Viking has ever felt the weight of a Super Bowl trophy in their hands.
No.
They've never gotten herpes from that kiss that you give the trophy. Because that's what happens. Everybody kissing these trophies, you're getting herpes. Somebody else kissing that trophy has the herp, has a cold sore, and they're just kissing. Everybody's getting it. We're all getting herpes.
And there it goes.
Nobody on the Vikings has the herp. Everybody who's won a football championship or a basketball championship. You know, in baseball, not so much because it's just all those little flags. Where do you kiss it? You can't kiss that one. I think that one was designed specifically to not give people the herp.
Keep your face off of this.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't even been to the game where you can win those.
Well,
since
no, they have.
1977.
Oh, 77. Yes. I was
Yeah,
gonna
like
say.
it's been.
You got to watch somebody else get the herp. You didn't get to get the herp. They got the herp.
If you were alive, you got to watch them. There's plenty
Yeah,
of people
that's
who aren't even alive. Some of the people texting right now. Donnie.
Quiet Cannon says, one of the ugliest games in history. You know, 500 runs to end the World Series. One of the just ugliest. 5 unearned runs is what I meant to say. And the
Yes.
series is over.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just all the mistakes. Good.
And
Lord.
and that's good for the Yankees to lose that way.
Big George is mad at Keon now.
Why?
He says, wow, Keon, way to just belittle my needs and desires on this show. There are other things I care about on this show. I like Randy's weather reports. I like Jeffrey's facetious traffic reports. I don't even do those.
I didn't belittle your desires. That is the first and only thing you mentioned when you were celebrating that the show was 3 hours long.
He says, I also missed 4 downs with Keon Rose. When's that coming back? We forgot it, so it's not.
It wasn't. It was an all right bit.
It wasn't even that good. No.
Yeah. So
Donnie says, "What did I do now?" Oh, we don't know, but you did something.
Listen, you get your people in line. All right, get your purple people in line because they're out here and they're talking real wild on the text line.
Quiet Cannon says, speaking of Randy, can you give us a weather report?
Well,
for Jupiter,
it's just cold and gassy.
There's a lot of thunderstorms and it's just but it's always constant.
Yeah.
So there's no point to it. Just kind of like Phoenix weather is a lot of times no point to get
rain.
Do you want to do a real weather report?
Well, I mean, I can, sure. From the Harman Solar 1580, the Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White coming at you live. Currently 73 under partly cloudy conditions, where the wind is currently 4 miles an hour right out of the east. Visibility 25 or more miles, humidity at 21%, and the barometric pressure is falling and currently at 29.81. Well, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful weekend here in Phoenix, Arizona, where the temperatures are going to drop down to the 60s by Sunday. Partly cloudy all weekend, back up to 71 on Monday. Currently 73 degrees from the Harman Solar 1580, the Fanatic Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Randy White, back to you, Jeffco.
Thank you, Randy. 888-368-1580. Raven Kid says he might want to change his pick for the Cardinals game this weekend. Wait a minute, Raven Kid. Kyle Brandt said, no more of this. No more. I don't agree with him, but no more making jokes. He says it's double XP for Call of Duty this weekend, and Kyler's going to want to go home and get back on that game. He says no more jokes. He says because that's his team, and Kyler Murray has proven himself. Oh, he's screaming at the camera.
He has?
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what Kyle Brandt says, at least. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a fair. I think it's a fair comment. If he does badly, that's what you can say. But
Kyle Brandt's a bit goofy anyway.
Yeah, but if he does badly, could it just be that he's playing the Bears? That defense has made a lot of people look bad.
All the other little things are more fun to say about Kyler Murray. Yeah. Silver Pop says cold and gassy. That's how I feel during the winter. All right. Booger Wolf says Vikings fans can't even close their lips all the way because their teeth are too gigantic. It's another odd
insult. Very odd, but somehow specific insult.
Beer Bob says, speaking of everyone getting something, did you hear that Jason Biggs from American Pie fame, his wife found out that she had lice right before they took off for flight, but didn't say anything to any of flight attendants. What a dumbass. What?
Not sure I understand that. Somebody had lice and they didn't say anything?
His wife, I guess.
All right.
That's gross.
How on earth?
Did his wife get lice? Know, or did she know and then just not say anything?
Is she sleeping around with hobos?
Because that's not.
How did she get the lice?
Well,
a lot of good questions.
You don't have to sleep with somebody to get lice. It's not a.
Well, I mean, why else would you get the lice?
Is there a funner way? I don't know.
I mean, there's probably not a funner way, but you don't have to. Lice is not sexually transmitted. They live on.
Well, of course I know that, but
it can be. But why would you assume that that's the lice that she has?
Because this is the Daily Blender, and that's what we do.
Okay, well, that's fair.
So Raven Kid has sent over a graph, and as you know, any meme with a graph on it must be true.
Yes.
It says Kyler Murray's fantasy production has gone down every season after a Call of Duty game was released. Before Modern Warfare in 2019, it was 19.61, and then it went down to 17.7. 2020, after Cold War came out, he had been at 30.05, dropped down to 18.79. In 2021, Vanguard came out. He was 23.1, dropped to 20.95. Modern Warfare 2 in 2022, he was 23.75, plummeted to 17.79. Now Modern Warfare 3 is out, and he's at 18.93. I guess we'll see what happens next week. We'll get to see if you keep this graph alive or not.
I
also don't even know if it's accurate.
But and also I'd just like to know, like, who were they playing those weeks? Because if you're just playing like legitimately a tough defense most of the time, those numbers are probably not going to be up.
Keanu just said he was playing Modern Warfare.
No, the teams. Who are the Cardinals playing?
Oh.
Booger Wolf wants to know if all Vikings fans are screened for ticks and lice before they're allowed in any stadium in Northern Hemisphere.
Wow,
that seems like a health and safety issue.
What's happened here?
I don't know. That does seem like a good idea. Probably a good idea. All right, we got to take a break. We come back. We got on this date in Big Georgia sports history and, I don't know, some other random things. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Order for Jennifer C.
Is this my double shot, double cream, double froth, double pump, double hot, double whip, double sleeve?
Yeah. Can you handle that much caffeine?
Hey, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Well, I do now.
Seriously, did you know Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, you just said that.
Did you say I just said that?
Yeah, I'm cutting you off.
Did you say you're cutting me off?
You earn, we match. Unlimited cashback match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
My pain is considerable, but that prescription is dangerous.
The side effects of my medicine are worse than my condition.
I'm in recovery. I can't take those pills.
When faced with a health crisis, you shouldn't have to choose between risks.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves immediate physical symptoms without having you take a bunch of pills. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
There's a wolf on the loose in Arizona. Its name is Ruben Gallego. Ruben's got quite a body count, a real wolf in wolf's clothing. Ask his ex-wife. He left her for a DC lobbyist. She got pregnant, and he divorced her just days before she was due. Ask anyone who's done business with Ruben, from the immigrants he swindled out of their life savings to that ambulance company he helped run. You know, the one that filed for bankruptcy and had to pay $2.8 million for Medicare fraud when he left. Or you can ask grieving families. After a mass shooting, Gallego told them, your prayers. He also said he would have killed American protesters on January 6th. Well, now he's coming for you. Gallego wants to unlock your borders to violence, drugs, and sex trafficking. He voted in lockstep with Biden and Pelosi. He wants to vote that way again for Kamala. You can't let that happen. Don't be his next victim. Stand up and say hell no to Ruben Gallego.
I'm Carrie Lake, and I approve this message.
Now open in Scottsdale. It's United Forte Custom Door Showroom with 40,000 Euro doors and hundreds of state-of-the-art designs and finishes on display, plus kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, and more, all at wholesale prices. Builders, contractors, designers, and yes, you. Come see our showroom on Greenway Hayden Loop. That's United Forte, P-O-R-T-E. Stop by to see and feel the quality. United Forte Custom Doors. Find us at uporte.com. That's uporte.com.
Never again will you have to say, I missed that segment. I'm such a dinkus.
He's so lame.
Never miss an important segment, favorite host, or show again. Check out our podcast and listen whenever and wherever you want.
It's the reason Al Gore invented the internet.
Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or at 1580thefanatic.com.
What? It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Realize Seabass, we don't always listen to the commercials. He's like, hey, I need to start saying that more often. F your prayers. Makes me sound like a badass. Like, what the hell are you? The commercial for the somebody said that.
We've heard that commercial about 16 times today, so you know, a little numb to it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, they play it every break. Isn't that great?
I actually wish they played more.
Yeah,
two times a break. Why not?
We should probably play it in the middle of our segments.
Just to spice things up a little bit, you know?
Hefty Lefty says, have a good weekend, everybody. I'm excited to see the Broncos and how they do against a good team. Fully prepared for them to lose by more than 10. But hey, here's hoping maybe they can fix their deficiencies that the Ravens will expose. I don't think the Ravens are that great right now, to be honest. The Ravens seem to have their own struggles.
Didn't the Browns beat the Ravens last week?
Jameis Winston beat them.
The Ravens are a really good team. They're just also not a perfect team. They have one glaring weakness that they really need to fix, and I don't know how they fix it.
What's the glaring weakness?
That secondary, man. Like, if you really attack downfield, the teams that they've lost to so far, Gardner Minshew and the Raiders, throwing the football. Like, the Raiders were doing nothing in that game. And then in the second half, they were like, screw it, we can't run. Let's just throw it and see how it goes. And then the Browns, Jameis is just going to throw it. It doesn't even matter if it's an interception or not.
Yeah, that's all he cares about.
Yeah, the quarterbacks that can't seem to really beat the Ravens are a little bit more timid, or, the Ravens just get one of those hot starts and then you're just behind.
Chosen One wants to know what's with ripping on the Vikings fans today. Did Donnie piss everyone off somehow? Generally, he gets around to everybody, but no, that was Booger Wolf just talking crap. He's a 49ers fan. So Chief Skull says, if that graph is what Raven Kid came up with, I want to know what class he's in college. He must have used it for an assignment, and I want to know what his grade was. I don't know. He might have just found it on the internet, dude.
Yeah. If you
Silver
Google
Pops
it's out there.
Says, is that political cowboy in that commercial asking us to say hello to Gallegos? I have no idea what you're talking about. I thought they called him a wolf.
In wolf's clothing.
That's the thing. You're
also known as a wolf.
Call me a wolf. I'm like, dude, that's badass.
Yeah. You got to. You're supposed to make him. You're supposed to make him sound dumb.
Weak. Not even angry about that.
Yeah.
So this is kind of interesting. At first you're like, well, that's nice. Then you're like, well, that might be financially smart these days. Patrick and Brittany Mahomes are working to bring a WNBA team to Kansas City. So with that much money, he's got like $500 million. But listen, he's already putting his money in some smart places. Yeah, they got stakes in the Kansas City Royals, Sporting KC, an Alpine Formula One team. And so now he's like, hey, we become co-owners here of the this WNBA team, or even own it. I don't know how much a franchise costs and how many more teams they're going to expand to. I don't know if expansion is in the best interest of the WNBA at the moment, but how much do you think a franchise would cost? Like $100 million, $200 million?
Let's see here. The average WNBA franchise is worth about 96 mil.
Okay, so let's just say 100 million. Let's just round it up.
Yeah,
we'll spot them the 4 million. So $100 million. Is this a good investment?
I mean, yeah, you're not like the people who are buying football teams right now. Like, I don't know how wise an idea that is, just because they are already worth so much. If you're trying to actually gain money, like the WNBA is having its best season, just the season after its other best season, just the season after its other best season. The college game, the women's college game, is also growing. So like, if you're trying to ride the trend and get in on it early so that you can actually make some money at the peak of whatever this is, then yeah, like now is the time to do it. The WNBA is actually interested in expanding. They just had an expansion team that they announced this past season in Golden State. So that team is going to be starting up soon. I think they
is
are
there
interested.
Enough talent in the pool?
Yeah. The Las Vegas Aces are loaded. The New York Liberty are loaded. Like, there's just a bunch of teams that have just a bleep ton of talent. The Fever are also actually loaded. If you look at the number of first round picks that they've got on that roster, yeah, there's enough. There's enough. And then you have a whole class coming in, another rookie class. That's like another one of these COVID classes where it's just too much talent almost. It's just, there are people who are getting picked in the second round that could probably be first rounders in other years.
Hey, remember yesterday when it was my birthday and I told everybody and I posted this on the internet? I said, remember, in lieu of charitable contributions in my name, it's my wish that you just please send me money directly. Skip the poor gimpy kids and put that money right in my whiskey and pizza fund. Thanks. I just made $2.
What?
Yeah, I got a $2. Somebody just sent me $2.
That's at least a chocolate bar. That's
something. It's more than most people get
from just random internet strangers. Yeah,
with a joke like that. I know that the Latina leprechaun was trying to give me money. I was like, I was just kidding. You don't have to do that. Chief Skull says the WNBA is operating at a loss. Still, expansion would not be recommended. Well, but who's funding the losses?
Yeah, it's not purely operating at a loss. Like the money that is continuing to come in. Like, I don't know, like they're projecting with this. It's not like the WNBA is out there operating at a loss, and the loss is the same kind of loss that it's been over the several years. That number has been shrinking. That's the reason why you would think to yourself, I should expand now while we're still trending up, so we can have these things established when you're no longer operating at a loss.
Hacky Lefty says, fun fact about Patrick Mahomes, his personal items in his house are not insured by State Farm. You think they'd have given him a discount or something? Well, who's insuring his stuff?
And how do
probably
you know
Lloyd's of London?
I feel like they would just do it for free.
That seems like that is a violation of somebody's privacy to know who it is that insures his stuff.
How do you know
that?
Interesting.
That's not legal if you came about that through you work for the company that actually insures his stuff. Maybe don't put that out there.
Beer Bob says, wow, $2, Jeffrey. You might be able to get 2 shooters of whiskey for that. Really? Where can I get a shot for $1?
For $1? Please let me know. I'll be there next week.
Huh.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Did not know that. There's got to be a special somewhere. Beer Bob would know. If anybody knows,
he is Beer Bob.
Beer Bob would know. All right, let's get this going so we can get ready for our weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back to the year 1938, Seabiscuit, the rags to riches people's favorite, beat the reigning Triple Crown winner, War Admiral, son of Man of War, in a match arranged by Alfred Gwynn Vanderbilt Jr., son of the railroad tycoon, at Pimlico Racecourse in Baltimore, Maryland. Afterwards, he was barbecued and eaten, and he tasted great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I made that last part up.
That's a hell of an ending to a race, man.
I don't know. I never saw the movie. That's not how it ends?
No.
At least they did that. At least they did that to the losers, right? Like they grabbed War Admiral and put him on a spit and just told stories around the campfire.
No, that never happened to racehorses. No.
Did you ever see the Seabiscuit?
I did not see the Seabiscuit, but I can tell you.
Keon, did you see Seabiscuit?
No.
Then you guys don't know if what I'm saying is true or not.
I didn't argue it.
Let me check this on Google.
No interest in
Don't you
Google?
Google? Why don't you just take my word for it?
Because
Seabiscuit wasn't eaten. Man of War. His son, War Admiral, got eaten.
Was Man of War. Hang on.
He was barbecued and eaten at the end of the race.
The loss to Seabiscuit. No, that did not happen.
Did it say no?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
Yes.
There's never been a search. There's never been a question where someone else has typed
there
in.
It is.
Did they eat War Admiral at the end of the race?
Yes.
There's no point of reference.
It's not the search I put in. At the end of the race against Seabiscuit it was the rest of the question.
Then what did happen?
Well, he was put out to stud. He's a Triple Crown winner.
No,
I mean, yes.
He was eaten.
No.
Pretty sure he's eaten.
No, he was taken to Kentucky and put out to stud,
where he tasted great.
No, Jeffrey. Sometimes you get your facts a little mixed up, a little bit.
Nothing mixed up about my facts. That's a true story. If you ever seen the movie, you'd see they ate War Admiral.
Nah.
On the movie Wikipedia page, it does in fact not say that at all.
Yeah, because it's one of spoilers.
They put spoilers in the Wikipedia pages of movies all the time.
Your face is a spoiler.
That's
Sir Drives a Lot says Fireball shooters at Circle K are $1 a piece. Yeah, but it's Fireball. Ugh.
Right. It's not real whiskey.
Yeah, what are you doing? Silver Pop says Mahomes is covered by Nationwide and Peyton's actually huge forehead.
I thought it would be Lloyd's of London.
Peyton's forehead covers a lot of things, to be honest.
Oh my God.
It does.
Yes.
There's huge
Yeah.
coverage.
Yeah.
Hefty Lefty says, not going to say who actually insures it. I'm not a monster. How do you even know this?
You work for the company and you've seen the stuff.
Cheese Skull is going all better off dead on me. I want my $2. God, that was a good movie. They just don't make movies like that anymore. Love that movie. Oh, I got to show my kids that movie. I don't know if they're going to get it, but I think they will. Chris the Cook says, I was a bartender. I sold shots for $1 close to closing time. I'd wring out my bar towel from all my alcohol spillage, and I sold them as bull sweat.
Wow.
That's gross. It was just, on the towel.
And a person was like, I will give you money to drink that.
Probably, yeah. There's some D-gens out there, huh?
Mm.
Lost Toby says, if she can taste it, then you're not studying correctly. It's not what I meant. It's not what I meant, Lost Toby.
Excuse me?
They're having some horse meat is what I meant, not horse.
No.
Why is this show still on?
I really don't know. I checked the clock because I thought maybe I made a mistake, and I did not. We are still somehow doing this.
I feel like the music should come on any moment.
Any moment now. Oh, thank goodness.
There it is.
I mean,
we're
great
saved.
show today, guys.
I only have so much show in me, and you people want 3 hours every day?
Yeah.
Greedy is what I say. Greedy.
Wow.
Have you ever eaten horse?
No.
Would you eat some horse?
No.
Maybe.
No.
I wonder what it tastes like.
That's why I would. I
Like
don't
horse.
I like
know.
horses.
What does horse taste like? I would.
Ever since I rode a horse, I like horses now.
Yes. Horses are good.
I'd own a horse.
Mm-hmm.
I would. I'd have a horse.
Oh, yeah.
I would want
My-
a little more cushion on my.
My dad
saddle.
he owned a horse, and it was my responsibility to take care of the damn thing.
Yeah. When did it die?
No, he sold it.
Oh, I was going to say soon after you were responsible. Hey guys, we'll see you Monday, 3